Faint sounds of subway trains, city ambience, a lighter flicks, someone beatboxing in the distance.
Hey yo, gather round, let me put y'all on. See, the game ain't just about paper, it's about legacy. You stacking bills or building empires. You reading signs or stuck reading headlines. It's time to elevate, knowledge reborn. Feel me? Shout out to Shy Bliss, Mama T. Hey yo, I came from the dirt where the lost ones lurk. Now I channel serious when I put in this work. From the street lights to the starlight, knowledge divine. Got the whole zodiac mapped out my mind. 777s when I shuffle, every move is a line. Had to break free, cut the chains on my mind. You see they trap us in illusions, keep the wisdom diluted. But I'm building like the Moors did, all black suited. Running numbers like Pythagoras, adding up digits. Turn a cipher to a temple, got the ancestors with us. This that Pharaoh flow, deep like the metronome. Boom bap, quantum math, every bar set in stone. We was born in the fire, raised in a storm. But the knowledge stays sacred, the wisdom stays strong. Turn the pain into gold, let the lessons live on. We the lost now found, it's the knowledge we're born. We was born in the fire, raised in a storm. But the knowledge stays sacred, the wisdom stays strong. Turn the pain into gold, let the lessons live on. We the lost now found, it's the knowledge we're born.
All right. Welcome to the building. Welcome to the building, everybody. How y'all doing today? What's up, everybody? It's Shy Bliss, aka Mama T, with as you can see. What's up? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. What's happening? I need to make sure y'all can hear me out there. Just put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Everything is coming through loud and clear. Put a one in the chat. Oh, we are live and in living color. What's up? Listen, we got something special for y'all today. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You know, the topic of discussion today is God's money. You heard me. We're going to talk about God's money. What is God's money? And how does that differ from man's money? You know, there's a lot of talk going on today about transfer of wealth. What does that mean? How do we get in position for that? Where is it going? Who is it transferring from? And who do you think it's going to? But first, let me lay this disclaimer on the line. I am not a financial advisor, and I am not here to give you financial advice. We're just going to walk through this portal and get a better understanding of what this thing called God's money. What does this mean? What is it all about? How do we get down with it? If it's God's money, then guess what? That's our money too. Now, you already know, we talking God's money. We talking about mama. I'm just saying. We talking about mama's money because this money coming from mother. Where you think it's coming from? Where you think it's at? It's coming from the bowels of the earth. We're going to talk about this thing called silver. We're going to talk about this thing called gold. We're going to talk about this thing called fiat currency. We need to understand what's going on. We are always the last ones at the party. Now, remember, y'all, before y'all go and break piggy banks open and take your last life savings and go start jumping off the cliff into things, you need to get educated. You need to become a little bit knowledgeable. We need a little bit more, how they say, financial literacy in the building. We the last ones at the party. We the last ones to know. But at the end of the day, we're the biggest consumers of everything that there is. Everyone mimics us. Everyone duplicates us. They be trying to destiny swap with us. That's a plug because I got a video coming up this week called Destiny Swapping. But it seems like when it comes to wealth and building wealth and learning about economies and things of that nature, we are the last ones at the table. So this show is dedicated to that. It's about us getting a little bit more knowledgeable understanding what God's money is and how it differs from man's money, which is fiat money. What is fiat money and inflation? And when they print money, the value of the dollar goes down. And the money that you have in your bank, is it losing money? Is it losing its value? What can we start to learn about? What avenues can we travel in order to become a little bit more financial literate in these streets? You know what I'm talking about? So I have a special guest that I'm going to bring on. This brother is very knowledgeable. He be on TikTok clicking his bars and things. But we're going to bring him on in a second. But first, I want y'all to go ahead and grab your teas, because this is something for you to sip on. Get your notepads and your notebooks, your iPads, your cell phones, whatever the case you need, and start taking some notes. All right. But I'm going to drop a little video right quick. And we're going to come back with our special guest. So go ahead and call your mama and them, your grandmama and them, and your uncle and your cousin and them. Get your tea, because we're about to get it in right after this. Stay tuned.
Hey, babies, it's Mama T, back with another one. Listen here, baby. I want to talk to you about building your immune system the best you can. See, our ancestors know how to go out there and pick that thing and make the tonic for you to help you feel better. So that elderberry, I just want you to know, it's packed with antioxidants, and that vitamin C helps to build the immune system. You can fight off them seasonal threats. Now, burdock root is the ancient remedy. It's revered for its ability to detoxify the body. Dandelion root, another hero of detoxification, baby. It works hand in hand with burdock root to support the liver function and digestion. Together, these ingredients form the foundation for our wise elder blend. But we didn't stop there, honey. We elevated this blend with white lotus flowers, known for its calming properties to help center the mind and promote inner peace. So why wait? Experience the wisdom of nature with our wise elder blend and take a sacred step towards wellness. Try Mama T's Wise Elder Blend today.
All right, all right, all right. Without further ado, let me bring to the stage my brother, Ricardo M.I.M.S. Hamilton. Welcome to the Stella Maris podcast, brother. How you doing today?
Man, look.
Oh, we got the that's what I'm. Listen. You know how to I swear, like,
Man, I'm fired up and excited. Yeah.
Boy.
You know, I have to start the show off with the sound money. Fired up and excited to be here, man. We got a special show for you guys. Honored to be here. Ricardo Hamilton, Crypto Rick, known as M.I.M.S, building wealth in precious metal assets and digital assets. And man, we got a great show for you guys. I'm honored and happy to be here.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you on here.
Yeah.
Listen, for those that don't know, we're gonna just jump right in, right? Because we had a couple of conversations about this before, and I really thought it was a great idea to have you on the show. And I was on live the other day, and you came into the live, and I saw you, and I was like, oh, I got to get you on a podcast, because many of us don't understand what's going on in these days and times, right? There's a lot of propaganda going on out there. There's a lot of talk going on out there. And a lot of us get confused, and we don't really know which way we should go. But first, let me ask you, what is God's money?
Yeah. God's money is the silver and gold, and God's money is mentioned from Genesis to Revelations. It's been money since the times of Kemet, times of Egypt. It's money all over the world: Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas. Here in the United States, it's constitutional money. Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. It's real money. We've been told that the dollar is money, and the dollars used to be backed by money, which was God's money, which gave it value. But it's this right here. It's these bricks. It's the ounces. It's the bars. It's the rounds. The silver and the gold, that's God's money.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So now, being the fact that we're saying that that's God's money, and how the dollar used to be backed by that. So now that the dollar is not backed by that, what value does this really hold for us?
Right. That's what the world is waking up to right now. A lot of people are realizing that the dollar just doesn't buy you what it used to. And if you look at what the dollar has lost over the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you look at, well, what do you think the purchasing power of the dollar is going to be in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? It's going to purchase you less. But
Right.
if you see what God's money has done over that same time period, it has maintained its value and increased in value. And I tell people all the time that the United States dollar never would have had the world reserve currency had it not been backed by gold. You see, it was always God's money that was the underpinning to the global financial system. Even before the US dollar was the world reserve currency, it was the British pound sterling, which was backed by silver, and then the Dutch, and then the Rome and Greece, and like I said, in Kemet, it was always gold and silver. It's just until recently they removed the convertibility of the paper money into gold, and we've been living in this, inflated, debt-based fiat monetary system.
So what got you started getting invested into this? So learning more about it and just finding out what the difference was. What made you pivot and start getting into this?
Yeah. Early 2000s, like a lot of people, we woke up, especially with the 2008 financial crisis. You see your friends, your loved ones, family members, got the short end of the stick. While Wall Street got bailed out, the people didn't get bailed out. And then in my investigation, I learned about the Federal Reserve and how it's a private central bank. It's not really a part of the government. They don't have any reserves. And I figured out and I learned how the dollar used to be backed by gold, which was gold certificates and silver certificates, which gave the dollar value and respect across the globe. And then in 1971, I found out that Richard Nixon removed the convertibility of the dollar into gold. And ever since then, we've been on a fiat monetary system, but it's gold that has held its value and silver that has held its purchasing power and not the dollar. And so during that quest of education and learning, as I started acquiring silver since 2011 and getting into gold more so in 2018, I started to bring that message to the people online. And I started to find companies that would help them get physical gold and silver in their hands, real pure silver and gold in their hands, and also reward them for doing it.
Awesome. Awesome. It was, while you were talking about that, I was thinking about what was it? There was a Great Depression that went on in the 20s. And I think, was it Roosevelt that went around and
Roosevelt.
everyone?
Yep. They confiscated the gold in 33. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
that goes to show you, the value of that. They didn't have dollars back then. Did they have fiat dollars back then?
Yeah, I mean, the Federal Reserve came in 1913, and there's a whole, big story around that, even ties into the Titanic and things of that nature. But the founding fathers of this country said the worst thing that could ever happen to this country is a central bank, is a private central bank. They pretty much said, and I'm paraphrasing, but they pretty much said we'd be better off with China at war on the coast of California with boots on the ground than having a central bank in this country, because they foresaw the reality of what we're seeing today, where people, can't afford to live,
Right.
their wealth being confiscated from them, So
So
this is, mhm.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
We were talking about, I remember you were talking about the uses of gold and silver and on a resource level or different industries that are using it and tapping into it. Now gold is like thousands upon like $4,000 a troy ounce or something like that, right? And it's
Hmm.
jumped up. I remember a couple years ago when it dipped so low, it was like $1,700 an ounce a few years ago. And then all of a sudden it goes up so high. What drives the price of gold and silver? Because right now they're at all-time highs,
Yeah.
right? So what drives their price so high?
Yeah, when it comes to gold, so what you're seeing right now is literally gold is an indicator on the market. It's an indication that there's loss in confidence in the monetary system, the dollar, and it's also an indication that there could be war on the horizon, because gold is that risk off play. When the economy is stable and everything's looking good, it's risk on. So they're putting their money into the market. You're looking for higher yield. When there's global uncertainty, when there's inflation, war or financial crisis, that's when you see gold really take off, because that's when the central banks and the wealthy are getting ahead of what's to come. So that's why I say gold is an indicator. And that's why we're seeing gold right now at all-time highs. It's not by accident that gold is taking off in the way that it is, and going, it will go much higher and it's still suppressed. And same thing with silver. Silver, the banks, JP Morgan and the big banks and central banks have been rigging and manipulating the precious metals market for decades, keeping the price down of these assets. So you and our people wouldn't look at it, because they wanted to keep our money into the market where they can easily confiscate it and take it away through the next market crash and things of that nature. But it's gold and silver, I tell people that's how you save your money. When it comes to savings, that's how you save your money. You save it in silver and gold. That's how you preserve your wealth. It's money insurance. In fact, gold is a tier 1 asset. So the Bank of International Settlements, which is like the central bank for central banks, label gold a tier 1 asset, which means there's zero risk associated to it. Okay. So when you're thinking about ways, well, how can I take what I've worked so hard for, these paper dollars, and how can I not only preserve them, the purchasing power, the value of them, but have it grow for me without exposing it to risk, right? You do that by saving it. You convert it into silver and gold. That's how you do that. It is the way that you ensure the value that you work so hard for. And then silver is an industrial metal. So silver is a totally different play. I'm telling you right now, the gains that we're going to see in silver are going to outperform the gains that we see in gold. Gold will have a higher nominal value, but as far as gains and return, you're going to see a much greater gain in return in physical silver, because silver is used in industry, and there isn't a lot of it. In fact, we're running a deficit. So the demand for silver is even greater than the actual supply. And so when you have, these dynamics that we're having going on in the economy right now, and with war and everything else, the silver demand is rising rapidly, especially because just AI and solar panels and, just silver's in, thousands of applications. Yeah,
I wanted you to tap into that. Like, give the people some uses of silver, because, a lot of people think, well, I can't hoard all of this money, this gold and this silver. I'm supposed to hold around thousands of pounds of these. But explain to them the many different uses of silver and why that might make a decent investment for you.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And this is what I will say. When it comes to gold and silver, I don't personally like to use the word investment, because invest can stipulate a loss. Like if I'm investing my money, I can lose my money. God's money will never go to zero. God's money since the times of Kemet, like we talked about, it's seen wars, seen pandemic, it's seen, everything under the sun. Gold and silver always have value. So gold and silver to me are not investments. It's insurance. It's money insurance. It's how you preserve your wealth and grow it without exposing it to risk. Now, when you're talking about digital assets and other things, yes, that is, an investment, but gold and silver is a savings. And then when it comes to, silver is obviously in the electronics, because it's the most electrically and thermally conductive metal there is. So it's the best metal for, the electronics, right? And electrical equipment. And so obviously we're in a, electronic revolution right now here with AI and technology. So it's needed there. It's also, dealing with solar panels, renewable energy. The demand for silver from the solar panels alone is massive, especially coming overseas with like India and China and other places. A lot of the EVs and the automobiles, the electric vehicles, and for their batteries and everything, they need silver. Also, silver is what most people don't know is that silver is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. So even when I start to feel a little something, I take some colloidal silver, and I'm good to go. Yeah, because I know the power of the colloidal silver.
They were making masks with those. They were making mask mesh, silver mesh.
With silver. Yeah, silver in the clothes, because it's like I said, antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. So you're seeing silver in the clothing. The applications for silver is in the thousands, but there's not that much of it to go around. Not to mention, it still has a role as money. It still has a role as money. And so right now, when we have war and everything else, the industrial demand for silver is greater than the available above ground supply. And the military demand for silver is even greater than the industrial demand. And silver is barely meeting the industrial demand itself. So that's why we're also seeing, because the rigging and manipulation that JP Morgan and central banks have done for years, for decades, is coming to an end because they don't have the metal. And now the investors around the world are requesting physical delivery. It's almost like if everybody decided to go to the bank and say, hey, I want my cash. It's not there. The bank doesn't have your money. They loan out 100% of your money. You know, fractional reserve requirements since COVID were set to 0. They loan out 100% of your money. It's not there. They don't give you any interest on your money. They don't have it. You know, but if everybody goes to the bank and says, hey, I want my money, we expose that they don't have the money, and then everybody pulls out, and then we you know, the sham is up. We realize, you know, what this is, and that's what's going on with the metals market right now. People are realizing that, you know, the rigging manipulation, and that the metal's not actually there, and we're seeing a rise in value of the assets because of it.
Interesting. So when you were saying like there's a high demand but not enough supply
Yeah.
to meet the demand of, I guess, in the industrial
And military.
arenas, right?
Let
So,
alone returning
speaking
back
of
to money.
military, so you had mentioned earlier about, you know, normally these things rise with wars. So now we're hearing a lot of things with war and, you know, with this country trying to position themselves. Do you think this is really all about a money grab? Or so when we talk about this thing about transfer of wealth, what is like, they tell us a story about why they're going to war, but some of the biggest bags are made during wartime. Right. And so these people get in position and they guess play both sides of the fence. So they make money during the World War and as well as after the war and the rebuild and all of the things that they do. So how do we look at this as a form of transfer of wealth or a signal that represents this may be an opportunity for a transfer of wealth?
Yeah. Well, they always take you to war when the empire is collapsing. You know, if you studied Rome, right, during the days of Rome, they kept people entertained with the Colosseum. They subsidized, you know, their food and entertainment. They had extended wars. You know, they debased the currency. But when you're seeing an empire collapsing, they take you to war. It's one of the great ways to print money. It distracts the people. You know, so you know we're witnessing the end. You know, everything that we're seeing right now is symptoms of a system in collapse. We're witnessing the collapse of this system, of this present paradigm. You know, and so yeah, so that's why we're seeing all this war. Yes, we know they're going to make money in the war. We know they're going to make money after the war and everything else. But it's really a distraction. And the reason it's a wealth transfer at this moment in time, because before, for us to get access to the wealth transfer, they had the ability to limit and control who got access. I mean, to even get into certain stocks, you have to be an accredited investor if you want to get into an IPO. You know, there was a certain way to get into the money game, you know, and a lot of the wealth in the United States is locked up anyway. I think it's like 80% of it is locked up. And, you know, our people coming out of slavery, we only owned 0.5% of this nation's wealth anyway. And today we probably own the same, if not less, maybe. And, you know, it's getting worse. But the opportunity now, when it comes to what we're seeing is that not only can we now get the education, get the resources, get access, right? But we have the ability to acquire the assets, so the silver and the gold, and then also capitalize on a technological wealth transfer when we talking about blockchain and digital assets, because the future is blockchain. You know, just like the internet has changed the world, the blockchain is going to change the world at an even greater capacity and faster rate than we've ever seen. And so capitalizing on the technological revolution while also benefiting from the physical reality, which is the silver and gold, is how we're going to be able to capitalize on the wealth transfer, because the fiat currency system is dying. This is a debt-based fiat model that we live in right now. It's living off debt and credit. And that system is collapsing and imploding, and it's coming to an end right now.
Tell me, let's define this, because we hear it a lot. Transfer of wealth transfer. What exactly does that mean? What does that look like, actually?
Yeah, I mean, so to me, the wealthy take dollars and they convert them into assets because they understand that the assets are going to grow for them, and that's how they build wealth. But generally, the poor and middle class, we hold on to dollars and liabilities, and as they create more dollars, it lose the value of those dollars lose purchasing power. We talk about inflation. So the more money they create, the less value the money in circulation. So when they get money, they buy assets, and then the assets rise, not necessarily because the assets got better. I mean, look at gold. Gold is at an all-time high. Why? Did gold change? Did it do something that it hasn't done for thousands of years? No, it's the same. But what happened is that there's a loss in confidence and purchasing power in the dollar. So as a hedge against the financial crisis and inflation, they save in real money. So it's the devaluation of the currency that's making these assets rise, and that's how the wealthy capitalize on wealth, because they understand that they buy assets, whether it's real estate, stocks, or whatever it is. But the average person, they don't do that. They hold on to dollars and they put it in a bank, and then they get a CD, and not understand that inflation really is about, maybe I'm gonna be modest, like inflation is 6 to 8% a year. You're losing 6 to 8% a year on the purchasing powers of your dollar. So if you're not gaining at least 6 to 8%, you're losing. You're losing. So you have to find ways to deploy your capital into vehicles and investments where you can outpace inflation, so you can have a better financial future tomorrow than you had yesterday.
I say. Now I know you have some charts available that you wanted to start to show and explain, because we learn through visuals. Some of us have to see certain things and see the trajectory of where this can possibly go and where it has been, where it's gone, from its art, where it began from, and where it is now, and where we see it going tomorrow. So there's a couple of things that you have the floor. Feel free to share
Yeah.
your screen and
One. Yeah, I got
let
one
me
screen
know.
up. Yeah, I got one screen up I want to share. And this one is the usdebtclock.org. It's a great resource. This data is compiled by government statistical data, and you can go to the website yourself, usdebtclock.org, but it'll show you the numbers, right? And show you the U.S. national debt, and then you can see it'll explain what the U.S. national debt is, which is the national public debt outstanding, represents the face amount or principal amount of marketable and non-marketable securities currently outstanding. But what I like about the U.S. debt clock that people don't realize is that when you scroll down here and you go to the right, you'll see here that it has the dollar to silver ratio, and then it has the dollar to gold ratio. And remember how I talked about these assets being manipulated, suppressed. In fact, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, and them, they are the largest holders of physical silver and one of the banks. And their traders, they have been fined, and some of their traders have went to jail for rigging the precious metals market to the tune of over $1 billion. So
Damn.
yeah, they have. This is a big. They say that the silver is like the Achilles heel to the banking system. The
Why?
corruption in the banking system, because it's over leveraged. Yeah. So if you see here the dollar to silver ratio, it says silver should be closer to $1,100 per ounce. Right.
What?
And we got silver. Yes. Right. Close to $1,100 per ounce if you adjust it for the money supply. Right. Because ideally, there shouldn't be more paper money than there is actual money to back it. But the thing is that they've created more paper money than there is actual money. So when people start to realize that, exactly. That's the scenario that we have. So even gold, and all these numbers are quite modest. I think silver numbers is pretty decent, but gold is even modest at $10,000 an ounce is very modest. These assets should be much higher, because you have to understand they've printed 80% of all currency in the last 5 years or so, 5 to 7 years since COVID. They shut down the whole economy and they just printed paper. So that's massively inflationary because there's no economic production. They shut down everything and just printed money. So of course we have exploding debt, and then $1 trillion in interest that we got to pay. $1 trillion is added to the interest on national debt every 3 months or so. you know, every 90 days or so, there's another trillion in interest, you know, or another trillion added to the debt. And then the interest alone is $1 trillion, I should say. Right.
So it seems
But
like it's designed to keep the debt. That they don't want out. It seems like there's no way out of this debt the way they have it structured.
yes,
Is this
exactly. This is why the founding fathers said that a central bank was the worst thing that we could ever have in this country, because you have to understand debt is synonymous to money. So the more money we create, which is Federal Reserve notes, that is really debt that we have to pay back to the Federal Reserve. So the more money we created, actually, the more debt we created. Now that debt has to be paid back. Not on top of that, with interest, which means we have to create more paper money to pay back the debt and pay back interest that never existed in the first place. And in that whole process, the new currency devalues the old currency. And then we're taxed on it. And then you're taxed on it in every single way. So this is why, you know, that the financial literacy is so important. And that's why, you know, they never talk about silver or gold. You know, they always talk about the stock market, you know, real estate, you know, talk about, you know, CDs or, you know, insurance, but they never really talk about silver or gold. But if you look at, let me pull this chart up here. Let me pull this one up. Let me see here. Okay, I know what I gotta do. Stop share. Let me show you this one here. So here's the numbers for silver and gold. You probably can see that. Yeah, here we go. And is this, let me see. It's probably, yeah, it's about updated. So in the last, here's silver, right? Now think about your savings at a CD. If you go to the bank and ask for a CD, they give you maybe 1.25%. Remember I told you inflation was 6 to 8%. We're gonna be modest, right? It's really higher. If you just save in dollars, you're losing value. Now even the S&P will give you about, if you put your money in the market in the S&P.
What is the S&P for those of us who don't know? Let us know.
In the stock market, standard, you know, it's the stock market in stocks, right? So if you put in the S&P, most people do, right, tied to the market, U.S. stocks, you'll get about 8% a year, okay? But you can see here that silver performance in the last year did 84%, okay? So in the last year, you would have had 84% on your money if you had just saved it and converted it into silver, as opposed to leaving it in paper or just leave it in the bank, right? And one thing about silver and gold too, is easily liquidatable. This is because it's real money. So, you know, I have millionaires that I talk to, you know, 6-figure earners, you know, people who have fell on hard times. And it's because that they had silver and gold as a savings. They were able to weather the financial storm they were going through because they had, you know, a real asset tangible in their hand that they can easily liquidate within 24 hours, 2 hours. You know, I mean, it's easy to liquidate silver and gold. But when you have your money tied up in financial products and in real estate, it's not that easy to always liquidate, you know. So it's one of the easiest liquidatable assets as well. But you can see over the last 5 years, 132% on silver. Over the last 20 years, 561%. And remember, this is your savings. This is not investment. That's why I said this is not investment. This is your savings, right? So your savings is getting that rate of return. Same thing with gold. You know, gold over the last year is up 60%. You know, over the last 5 years, 125%. Over the last 20 years, 730%. You know, and so most people don't realize that, because the banks, they're not going to market this to you because they don't want you into silver and gold. They want your money in their control. They can manipulate it. But once you turn your money into silver and gold, once you got it physical, there's nothing they can do to confiscate that wealth away from you like they can in market crashes.
So, you know, I had to look it up. I had to look up S&P. You know what that means? You know what that the name of it's Standard.
Yeah.
Think about that though. Hold on. See, that's how my mind works. I'm like Standard and Poor's, P-O-O. Paul. This is the American Financial Intelligence Company. S&P means Standard and Poor. I mean, if that doesn't tell you kind of what they're aiming for, everything is in the name, in my opinion. Like that's how. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh shit!" And setup.
And then here's the thing that everybody, you know, most people's their retirement accounts are tied to the stock market. tied
Mm.
to the market in general. So just
Yeah,
like
the
in
retirement.
2008, this is the thing. In 2008, everything went down. Stocks, bonds,
Right.
mutual
I
funds,
remember that.
really
Mhm.
everything was down. Nobody was safe. But I'm gonna tell you what didn't go down. Can y'all guess what didn't go down during 2008 financial crisis?
Silver and
God's
gold.
money.
God's money.
God's
God's
money.
money.
Because during times of
What?
uncertainty and financial crisis and wars, God's money stands out as a
Mm.
safe haven. That's what it's called, safe haven asset.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I want
so
to
that's
ask
why
in the
we're
chat,
seeing
how
gold and
many
silver rise right now.
people, who have silver or gold? How many people are in, how can you said not invest? That means a risk.
Well, save. How many people
To
save their
say how
money in
many
physical
people
silver and
save
gold?
silver and gold, because many of us, I don't know if many of us are into this. We have a checking account, we got a saving account, we got the shoebox, right? This is where we stuff our money. Some people are now, I think the past 10 years, many of our people were learning how to diversify and get into different things, especially during COVID. The past 5 years, I haven't seen so many people get into trade since it became digital, like on your phone, Robinhood and all the rest of them. And now crypto
Hmm.
has joined the family.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got some dudes. We got some thumbs up in the building. We got some
Yeah.
thumbs up. Somebody bought it for six. Bought it. Well, you said it was at $20. Yeah, I
Yep.
jumped in around about 28, 29 when I jumped in there, and I thought it was high, but it's 50 something now.
Yeah, about
So
58, 59.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very fascinating. Very fascinating. Anything else you
And
want to share
yeah,
on that or show on that? Yeah,
yeah,
sure. How you
definitely.
have the floor, honey.
So another thing too is that, and I'll just let you guys know. So in the United States, right, there are about 12 states or so and growing where gold and silver is actually legal tender. Okay. So you actually can spend gold and silver the same way you spend dollars. Arizona, Florida recently just passed a law making gold and silver legal tender. Idaho, Missouri, Oklahoma, Utah. Actually, I have some what is these Oklahoma gold notes. I could show here, but they have, even some people might be familiar with gold backs. Okay,
Mm,
gold
mhm.
and silver is legal tender. Like I said, it's Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. It's money. It's the constitutional money of the United States. But there are about 12 states or so in the United States where gold and silver is legal tender. But obviously, it's real money all across the world, and there's not that much of it going around. And that's why you want to get it physical too. You don't want paper contracts. You don't want an ETF. You don't want some kind of paper certificate saying you own gold. You want to get the physical asset. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it real, get it pure, and get it delivered.
Someone asked, how can they test if it's real silver that they receive? Is there a
Yeah.
simple way to?
So, I mean, yeah, definitely. When I first got my first piece of gold delivered, the first thing I did was I went to my local jeweler and I had them test it for me, because obviously I don't have a machine in my home to test the gold and silver at that time. And some people could do the sound test, but right now you can go right to your jeweler, or even sometime a pawn shop might have a little gold tester. Or if you might live close to a gold and silver refinery. But I mean, anywhere, where they got jewelry, I mean, you could just take a little piece and get it tested. But also when you know that you're getting it from a reputable company, you're going to get, pure, gold and
I had a
silver.
brother. I saw a brother. His name is Awaken X. Shout out to him. He did a little test with an ice cube with silver, right?
I think I've seen
And
some.
he said, look, to know if you have real silver. And I did this. I think I'm gonna go grab one little in a little bit and show y'all
Mhm.
and get us a piece of ice. And you could put it on a quarter, right? Take that ice and put it on a quarter, and you know that that doesn't have any silver in it, right? And
Mhm.
so the ice will sit up there. It may even like bind to the quarter. But
Okay.
when you put it on silver, when the ice touched the silver, it melts it. It like rapidly melts it. It instantly starts turning it into water like that. You'll have water dripping
Mm.
all over you. And I did that. And I was like, I don't believe this. So I went and got a couple of my silver pieces and I put an ice cube on it. And it was like water. It just instantly it started melting. And then I put it on a quarter, and it sat there for a minute, and then it slowly started to melt. But when you put it on the silver, it started melting quite rapidly. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a valid test, but we all got ice cubes. So
Right.
that's something that you could go look at until you go to the jeweler, unless you got a little kid or something that you can see. But I agree with you. Always buy from a reputable
Yeah.
company that has it. It's been around, and you're getting a real deal.
Right.
So I wanted to add. Oh, go ahead. If you had another.
No, I just came across a great video earlier during the week, and it's about 2 minutes long, but it kind of is breaking down where we are in silver
Show it,
right
please.
now. I think the education on that is so valuable because, this is what I always, tell people, when I go live and people that follow me, I let people know that we're living in the largest and greatest wealth transfer ever in history. Okay. This moment in
That's
time
it.
that we're living in right now will be studied, debated, talked about for centuries. Okay. I mean, this time is more important than anything that we've read in history books. It's more important than anything that we've read in religious texts. Like, this is why I say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure that a wealthy family comes from you. And I'd rather be 1 year or even 2 years too early than 1 day too late to the largest wealth transfer ever in history. And
Mm,
essentially it just comes down to who you follow, what you
mm,
know, and what you have. Okay.
that's
So you
it.
want to make sure you're following the right people, you're getting the right information, and you're acquiring the right assets. Okay, because we are in a revolutionary time period. The whole financial system is being reset. So you want to make sure you're getting this information and getting the assets. But yeah, let me pull that up. Let me share
Sure,
some.
absolutely.
Yeah, here we go. And I got it up there, and I'll press play.
Hold on, let me add it to the stage.
Okay, and let me know if you guys can hear it. It's no, I don't hear anything myself. I don't. Oh, okay.
That's 47% of registered silver gone in between October 1st, 2024 and November 15th, 2024. 37.6 million ounces of silver vanished from COMEX vaults. That's 47% of registered silver gone in 47 days. The largest vault drain since 1980. You know what else happened in 1980? Silver hit $50 an ounce. The COMEX changed the rules mid-trade to stop the Hunt brothers, and the futures market nearly collapsed. But here's what nobody talks about. The Hunt brothers weren't trying to corner silver for profit. They were trying to expose a manipulation that had been running for 100 years, and the system destroyed them for it. On February 14th, 2025, 4 major South Korean banks stopped selling silver. Not reduced supply, not temporary suspension. Stopped completely, indefinitely. China blocked citizens from buying physical precious metals through banks. Russia was banned from London trading floors. And right now, something is happening that violates basic market physics. Spot silver is trading higher than futures prices. That's called backwardation. In plain English, people are paying more to get silver today than to get a promise of silver in 6 months. That doesn't happen in functioning markets. That happens when physical supply is gone and paper promises are worthless. This isn't about silver going up. This is about a 150-year price suppression scheme breaking down in real time. And when it breaks completely, physical silver won't just be expensive, it won't exist at any price. Here's how central banks, bullion banks, and exchanges have manipulated silver for over a century. Why they needed to suppress the price, who benefits from the manipulation, what the Hunt brothers discovered in 1980 that almost exposed the entire system, and why the current supply crisis is different from anything that's happened before. Understanding this isn't about making money on silver. It's about seeing how the entire financial system is designed to hide inflation, protect the dollar, and extract wealth from anyone who trusts paper over physical assets. Let me show you exactly how the manipulation works, who's running it, and why it's ending right now. Before we talk about manipulation, you need to understand why silver matters more than almost any other commodity on Earth. Gold is money. That's it. Gold sits in vaults. It backs currencies theoretically. It's a store of value. But gold doesn't do anything. Silver is different. Silver is money. And the most critical industrial metal in modern technology. Your phone has silver. Solar panels require silver. Electric vehicle electronics use 3 times more silver than combustion engines. Medical equipment, antibacterial, 5G infrastructure, missiles, semiconductors, every technology defining modern civilization depends on silver. And unlike gold, silver gets consumed. When you use silver in electronics or solar panels, it's gone. You can't economically recover it. It's dispersed in landfills and electronics waste and products that will never be recycled. Gold gets recycled. Almost every ounce of gold ever mined still exists. Silver disappears. We've been running a supply deficit for 4 consecutive years, 148.9 million ounces in 2024, meaning we're using 148 million more ounces than we're mining. Where's that silver coming from? Existing stockpiles, vaults, government reserves built up over decades, and those stockpiles are running out. The solar panel industry alone could consume 85% to 98% of available silver reserves by 2050, according to University of New South Wales researchers. We're mining less silver every year while using more. The deficit is accelerating. So if silver is this critical, this scarce, and this necessary, why isn't the price exploding? Because the price is manipulated, and it has been for over 150 years. The manipulation of silver didn't start in 1980 with the Hunt brothers. It didn't start in 1971 when Nixon closed the gold window. It started in 1873 with something called the Crime of 1873. In 1873, Congress passed the Coinage Act, which demonetized silver. Before 1873, the United States operated on a bimetallic standard. Both gold and silver were money. You could mint silver coins, exchange them for gold, and both were legal tender. The Coinage Act ended that. Silver was removed from the monetary system. Only gold remained as the backing for currency. Why? Because silver was abundant. Mines in Nevada were producing massive quantities. If silver remained money, the money supply would expand, prices would rise, and most importantly, debts would be easier to repay. Who benefits from deflation and tight money? Creditors, banks, the wealthy who lend money. They want money scarce and valuable, so debts are hard to repay and interest payments stay high. Who loses? Debtors, farmers, workers, the middle class who borrow to buy land, equipment, businesses. They wanted silver monetized because it would expand the money supply and make debts easier to service. The crime of 1873 was a wealth transfer from debtors to creditors, disguised as technical monetary policy.
Oh, so I just want to play that. Now that was a little long,
That was
but I'm
good.
saying, yeah. But the education, is key there, and this is why I say, and I tell people all the time, that physical silver is the most undervalued physical asset on the planet. Okay, the reality that we live in today doesn't even function without silver. It's in the electronics. We wouldn't even be able to go live the way we are without physical silver. And so understanding that, that is, that's why one of the reasons why it's as well as part of the largest wealth transfer in history.
Today, I got something in the mail today, and I didn't know what it was. Right, this box, and then it had a box inside a box. I said, "What the hell is this?" Right? I forgot about this. So last week you put me on, right? This brother, we had a conversation. I was talking to M.I.M.S last week. He put me on to this company. And I said, let me see what this about here. So I went ahead and I dipped my toe in there and just see what it's like. And I got a little gift today. So I want to show you all this. And I didn't expect it so fast. So I went and got a little stack. I ain't got the bars, honey. I got some coins that I could I can't click the big bars, but look at this. These are amazing. So these are 1 ounce silver, what they call bullions.
Yeah, silver bullion.
Coins. I don't know if y'all can see this. Amazing. Some people, I guess, you wear white gloves. I got the buffalo. I got to represent the buffalo, honey. This is who we is. Check it out. You know who C is on the back. You see who
First Nation.
That's
First
us,
Nation.
bull. Out. So let me do my
I'm money cack for Mama T, getting silver.
Shout out. So those of you who wanted to know, I see you in the chat. Where's a reputable company where you buy? This brother put me on to this company. And so I wanted to try it. And I'm liking what I have so far. And they have these plans and things that you can get on. So if you're interested, put one in the chat if you're interested in this company. Because so far I like what I see. These are really amazing. They don't look used. You got some company that just send you somebody else's shit. This looks like these were like freshly minted. I'm not sure, but these are amazing. And I do have some coins that I had from a while ago. And I said, let me start doing this again because like you said, having money in a savings account You know, I had this money sitting, I had some money sitting in the savings account. And that money ain't budget. It ain't doing nothing. It's like
Mm-mm.
I make a couple cents a dollar maybe
Yeah,
that
maybe.
year. And
Yeah.
it's like, let me take some of this money and start buying some silver. And because I study the markets, right? I watch the charts. I study charts. I know I can read a chart. So when I started reading the silver chart, because I invested into this, my first time investing in silver was in 2020. Everybody's getting them stimulus checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took my stimulus check and I bought some silver and some crypto. And needless to say, I paid $27, $28 for a coin in 2020, right? And right now it's $58 or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that money, now if I had that money sitting in the savings account, it would have been the same amount of money, maybe a couple of 2-3 cents more, maybe a dollar more, who knows,
Well,
right?
it's a little worse than that because the purchasing power
Right.
has went down. Yeah. Mhm.
So all this to say is I'm glad that you put me on to that because now I know what I would rather put my
Yeah.
savings in because it's not depreciating, it's not going anywhere. And I could take this anywhere in the world and it's money, it's value, right? It
Yeah.
holds its value and
Exactly.
it's a resource anywhere in the world. So I see some ones in the
And
chat. Go ahead.
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say
mean
I
to
can give
cut you
some
off.
value. No, no, no. I was gonna say I can give them a little value on the company if you want me to as
Yeah,
well.
I'm about to pull up the link.
Mhm.
So this is where I got my coins from, and Ricardo put me on, right? He put me on to this company, and we ain't talked to. It's been less than a week.
Yeah, I'm
I want to
surprised you got
say,
it too that fast, honestly.
yo, I
That's
couldn't
fast.
believe it. I got it really fast, and I just dipped my toe in there just to
Yeah.
see. And once I see, I'm like, oh yeah, I might put my foot in there, 2 feet in there this time,
Yeah.
because this is an amazing thing. This is something that you can have. This is something you can take everywhere. And if you know have a whatever you use for security. Now, once again, this isn't financial advice, but it's always good to have precious metals. If you can't do gold, do silver. It's very affordable. Don't break your neck now. But at the same time, like you're not this is what you say, zero risk.
Yeah, it's a tier. It's a
Okay.
tier. Well, gold is a tier one asset, and silver follows gold, and the silver's massively undervalued. You know, like obviously we just talked about in the video show. But one of the great things about why I love this company, At Cost Metals, who I've been with them since the beginning. I know the CEO. I know where they're getting the metal, and the beautiful program that they have is that they're actually allowing us to get silver and gold and platinum at cost. So it's hence the name At Cost Metals. So
Okay.
there's no markup on the asset. So any other online place you will go to, any other online dealer, they actually have to mark up the metal because that's how they make money. And that's just business. You buy something and you mark up the price a little bit and you sell it and you make profit. What At Cost Metals decided to do is they wanted to allow people to get, gold and silver pretty much at cost. The same price the dealer pay is the same price that the customer pay. Now, how At Cost Metals makes money is just a membership. You just pay one time for the year, and they have different membership options. It's nominal. Could be from 100 to 150. They have different options there for you, but you pay one time for the year, and you're actually getting access to getting gold and silver at cost. So what that means is that you're paying a lower price and you're actually getting more metal, and that's the name of the game. When another thing I teach and I tell people too, when you valuing your wealth, do not value your wealth in dollars. Okay. The reason you do not value your wealth in dollars because the dollar is not a unit of wealth. The dollar, is not something that you want to value your wealth in. You want to value your wealth in ounces and you want to value your wealth in quantity. How many ounces of silver and gold do I have? What is the quantity of a particular digital asset that I'm holding? Because the dollar, one thing that the dollar will always do, and what it has always done since the inception of the Federal Reserve, essentially in 1913, is lose purchasing power. It's going to decline in value. So that is a pretty constant throughout history. We can see that. And so what happens is because the dollar is going to continue to lose value, assets are going to continue to rise in value because it takes more dollars to buy those assets. Okay. So valuing your wealth in in dollars is pointless. You know, you really want to value your wealth in, you know, ounces, you know, assets, you know, land, acreage, even maybe it's, you know, ounces, you know, quantity, right? Land and, you know, and digital assets, you know, is how I look at it. But yeah,
Ashe,
yeah.
Ashe. So I dropped the link up there for you guys if you're interested in going ahead and also it's break down that a little bit more for them because
Hmm.
people are, this is for me when I was talking to you about this earlier. I was like, our people, we're looking for those safe bets, right? We're looking for something low risk because we we're scary. We don't want to lose
Yeah.
out. We don't want the rug pulled from underneath us. So
Right.
we're looking
Right.
for something that we can hold on to, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking for something that will grow in value, and it's been proven. If you can, if you have a chart, if you can show the chart on
The
silver,
silver. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, and just over time, and for them to take a look at that, and gold too as well over time.
Yeah.
Look at the appreciation of this metal.
Yeah. And we can go to here we have it on silverprice.org, which is a great site that I check out when I look at my gold and silver prices and get my data. Um, and this is the 1 week chart actually. So we can zoom out there. I don't know, how's that look? Can you guys see that pretty well?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So here we have you know, in 2011, we saw silver shoot up to $50, and then it made this you know, massive cup. They call this a cup and handle formation. So the one thing in the charts, when people look at silver for the charts and why people started to get so bullish as of even, you know, last year and since 2024, I've been telling people that in 2025 silver is going to go to all-time highs based on the information and data that I had at that time. So I knew silver was going to break all-time highs, you know, last year in 2024. But when you look at the chart, you can see this massive cup and handle. There's a cup, and then we have like a little handle, you know, a little handle back here. But obviously, we broke out, you know, from that 2011 high, which is also the 1980 high, and now we're at, you know, $58 an ounce, and we're going much higher. You know, if you ask me, I think we might see 80 by the end of the year, but we definitely will see 100 by the end of 2026. And depending on how things accelerate, because if you know, if the fraud and rigging and manipulation is fully exposed and it's really shown that they don't have the metal, because what the comics does, what they do is for every 1 ounce of silver they might have like 300 or 400 contracts open on that 1 ounce. So they have 300 or 400 people claiming ownership to only 1 ounce of silver. You know, the fraud and the rigging and manipulation of this market is massive, and that's why they say that you know, if people, you know, if they ever demanded the physical, it could collapse, you know, the banking system because they have so much leverage, you know, on this asset, you know, shorting it and rigging the markets. But yeah, here's a chart, you know, on silver, and you know, we can see it's just getting started, in my opinion, on its bull run, and it's as it creates new all-time highs.
yeah. I was gonna pull up my charts here, but every time I
Yeah,
tell
I
them
can.
I'm on this different computer. But go ahead, yeah, do your thing.
What you want
Show
me?
it.
Yeah, you want me
Hold
to?
on. I wanted to actually here you go. I'm gonna
Let
share
me
my screen
let me take mine
because
down.
we talked about silver, but I want to
Mhm.
also let you take a look at gold now. Because gold is another thing. It's very, we think it's high, but you don't have to buy the whole ounce, right? You can buy fractions of this thing. But I want to show you the trajectory of these precious metals because it's quite interesting. All right, well, I'm going to share this right quick. Uh, share screen. Now, I'm gonna go to the monthly chart. It's just
Mhm.
something that I look at this. This
Yeah,
is ridiculous, right?
yeah,
This is just unbelievable. We can go back. So we're looking at 2017. Think about if you just invested $100 in 2017.
Mm.
right? Take a part of your savings, if not, whatever you can, and invest it in gold, bits and pieces. Like I told you,
Mhm.
I just dipped my finger in and I bought some silver,
Right.
right? And next I'm going to be buying gold because I'm looking at. I mean, can y'all see this? I mean, is it me? Can you see this?
Yeah, I see
Like,
that chart. Yeah, yeah. We,
it's when did it go down? Right? It's oversold. Like when you look down here at the
yeah,
RSI,
it's that
you can
oversold
see that it's super oversold. So I like to do sometimes what I do is I set my alerts
for a little
at the
pullback.
resist the support level here. And when
Hmm.
it starts reaching these support levels, because it has to test the level that it broke out of. Right. Now this is a monthly chart. Now that's a big dip. And this is when I normally call out, with some groups I'm in, I'll be like, "Yo, gold is when gold gets to 35, that's when I'm gonna go in." They be like, "You crazy? Gold ain't never going to 35." Da, 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 da. But it pulls back,
No,
right?
yeah,
It always
it's the
pull
natural
back
ebb and flows of the market.
to
Yeah.
retest the last level, right? It
Hmm.
hasn't pulled back in a long time, though. It may not, right? But it does. So these are just some of the techniques that I use when I'm waiting. But either way you look at it, whether you wait or whether you get in now, it's always heading. It increases in its value. I guess that's the what I'm trying to say is so there's not a bad time to get into investing in silver and gold.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say.
And
So for those of you who wanted to, learn more about it, or just get involved, you wanted to start, buying some. Now this company, he did say it's like Costco.
yeah, look at
Okay.
it like Costco.
Um,
And
they
your referral code is
charge a yearly, like a yearly membership, but which you get the coin at cost. With some companies, they don't charge you that, but they tack on an additional fee. And this also has like a little program with it, whereas they'll send you a coin every month, right?
mhm.
And which is cool. It's like automatic. Every month you get a
Yeah,
coin.
it's one of the
I
coins I
say.
get. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And I like that, right? Because sometimes, it's like it's automatic. Every month I know I'm going to start to accumulate these. And if I don't ever buy them by myself, I know I'm going to get 12 coins a year, something like that. So, or I could just go in, it all depends on how you do things. But it's available to you. So once again, I'm going to show you this here. If you aren't interested,
Mm.
there's a link. Go ahead and check it out. If you like it, you want to jump on it, get involved. That is a link there for you at Cost Metals. I
Yeah,
like it so far. I mean, I didn't expect to get this fast. This was I say
yeah, that
4
was
days
fast.
ago, about 4 days ago, and I
Yeah.
didn't expect. It's Saturday. I think it showed up today,
Mhm.
but they come in these little cases, and so this is going to go in my little private collection with the rest of them. And I'm excited about it, and I'm glad we had this conversation in it. And I
Yeah.
wanted to bring you on and share this with the audience because many of us don't know where to go. We don't know who to look at it. I was looking at the monthly time frame, Lion.
Hmm.
I was looking at that. But anyway, so to continue on with the show,
I
what else
wanted
you
to
got
add.
for us?
Yeah, let me add a little bit. Let me add a little bit before we divert, go into a different avenue too fast. One thing I do like about, I cost metals is because I believe in practicing group economics. All right. So I believe in that we should be able to find systems of leverage to help us create additional streams of income. And so I tell people all the time that if you're relying on one stream of income, you're a disaster waiting to happen. And so that's why, me, I'm an advocate of having multiple streams. And that's one of the benefits that I like about at cost metals is you can actually, get God's money, silver and gold, get it at cost without, paying a markup, just pay that membership one time. They also have what they call the coin of the month. So, when it comes to building wealth, it's not a sprint, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
This is building wealth. It's a process. It takes discipline. It's something that happens and transpires over time. And so they do have something called coin of the month, where you can actually set it on automatic to where you're automatically converting your dollars into silver or gold. You can choose, and therefore you don't have to think about it. And that's how a lot of myself and a lot of other people that I know and that we've helped, become wealthy in these physical metals is literally just set it and forget it. Set it on an auto purchase, so to speak. And every single, month you'll have, some silver or gold coming in. You don't even have to think about it. And how I look at it is like, you can't really buy money. I'm not buying silver and gold. I'm converting, I'm converting
Okay.
a more
Okay.
a more inferior form of money, what we call money, which is the dollar, for a more superior form of money, which we call gold and silver, which is God's money. So
Indeed.
yeah, yeah. So at Cost Metals does have those benefits, those systems of leverage where we actually can create an additional stream of income from helping people get God's money, silver and gold, and they have that ability for people to kind of set it on automatic with the coin of the month and get the asset, once a month as well. And you can't go wrong. This is, why I've always dealt with gold and silver, my whole career, is because I'm never going to be worried about somebody giving me a call at 3 o'clock in the morning talking about, you told me to buy this silver and gold and now it's worthless. Now it's going to zero. No, you will never have that. So that's why I like what you said. For those that are risk adverse, right, who don't want to expose their hard-earned dollars that they work for, and don't want to risk losing it, you won't lose it in save and go. Now, when you look at the chart, there might be opportunities to buy, at certain times. But when I look at savings is not something I'm saving for, for next week. You're saving for either like your retirement, you're saving for kids' college, you're saving for a house, you're saving for a major purchase. Savings should be generally, a few years, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. It's what you're saving for. So the valuations, you're not really, the fluctuations in the market, you're not really caught up on the day-to-day price, because you have the long-term, view of the saving of the asset, as opposed to, I'm gonna buy some silver today. So don't think you're gonna buy silver today and then, next month or 6 months from now, your silver then did a 10x and you made all. That's not what this is about. Now, if you're looking
That
for
might be
10x,
crypto though.
that is crypto, especially in the next 12 months. Yes, I can see a lot of assets 10x and easily in the next 12 months in crypto. Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed. Listen, how you guys feeling? How are you enjoying the information so far? Put a one in the chat if you are enjoying the information. If you find this valuable for you, if this is something that you can use or utilize, or you're interested in learning more about it and investing in it, awesome. I like the ones. Shout out to all the ones. I'm trying to bring this in. We got to step our game up out here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We could be talking about the sun, moon, and stars, and clouds, and elites, and what all the shit, the Diddy, and all of this stuff. We could talk about that shit all day, but at the
All
end of
day.
the day,
It's a
like, let's
distraction to
be
me.
real.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
on.
yeah.
No, I always share this with my people, because I want them to know all the things we talk about. We're on Earth. We're in these bodies, and for me to do this show, I got to pay a monthly subscription to have this thing on, right? You watching it on your phone, you paying a monthly bill for that, right? The bills are not going away. The rent's not going away. The mortgages haven't gone away, right? We can all wait for the great hope to come and eradicate all of this and save us from the boogeyman. But in the meantime, this is what we have to go through. And many of us have been in this waiting game. Like, we're waiting for something to save us from whatever this is, and not getting a little bit more knowledgeable on how to maneuver or navigate in this system. Okay. And to put ourselves in better positions. Because I'm gonna be honest, our great grandparents and great great grandparents they've been waiting, right? And now here we are, still waiting, where other people are getting themselves in position and making sure they're passing down some form of generational wealth to their children, right? We don't do that. We're not creating wealth for ourselves. A lot of us live in fear, we're paralyzed, and we just don't know. So I think it's always good to bring this information to the table for us to see This young brother here got it goes and on. He's a Taurus too. Y'all know I'm in astrology. When I found out he was a Taurus, I just shut up. I said, go ahead. You saw how fast I hopped on the silver game. I hopped on that as he couldn't even shut up all the way. I was already signed up, placed my order, and got it a few days later because Taurus knows, I try to, if I don't know something, I try to surround myself with people who are fluent in the things that I don't know because it's very important to be around someone who has the experience and the knowledge and the know-how and not only that, they sharing it, they want to share it with us. So that's why I love this brother right here. I'm so happy that you joined me today and sharing this information with the people because we this is needed. This is needed just as much as we need good food and clean air and all of these things. Not dismissing that, but we need to remember material physical world. We need to get in a position to make sure we are in the receiving end and not always the depleting side of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. 100%. And I think that literally you hit on the nail. Everything is a distraction. Even the wars, all the stuff that's going on is really a distraction because, like I said, we're seeing the system in collapse. We're watching the reset of the system. And this is a very, very unique time period in history. This time period will never exist like this ever again, where you can literally capitalize and make sure that a wealthy family comes from you if you didn't come from a wealthy family, if you tap into that frequency, if you're getting that download. That's those who have eyes to see, ears to hear. But you also hit on the nail as well, where nobody's coming to save you. And I say that as well when I go live. Ain't nobody coming to save. Obama ain't coming to save you. Your mama ain't coming to save you. Okay, you got everything you need.
Not Obama. He brought
right
Obama
now. Because a lot of people love Obama. But I'm just saying. And nobody comes. Trump ain't coming to save you. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Nobody's coming to save you. You have everything that you need. You have the ability. God gave you the ability to save yourself and to create wealth for yourself. But like you said, our people, or most people, they don't focus on the financial literacy and the wealth and the assets and the accumulation of that, and then practicing the group economics, and then coming together to provide our own solutions. You know what I'm saying? To save ourselves. And that starts with the money, because when you have the money, understand something, you are the bank. You are the creditor. You're no longer the debtor. The debtor. Gold is God's money. Digital assets is the people's money. And the dollar is the slave's money. You're working for debt. You're working for something that loses value. Truth be told, we are the money. We are the
yes. Hold on, where the bomb at? Hold on now. I got a bomb effect somewhere. Where the damn bomb effect? Yeah, click the thing with my bomb will disappear. I had a bomb effect. Oh my. What? Our little John though. Oh man, my bomb.
To tap into an X.
We'll just clap for that. We'll clap for that. Click. Listen.
We are the money. We are the value. That's it. Yeah, and the gold is and the silver is a representation of who we are. So God's money is in us. Indeed. All these minerals and all this, everything is in us, but we are the money. But the thing is now when we have real money versus, saving fiat money, debt money, and thinking that's money, it's the greatest trick. People were calling a dollar money, and it's just not money. It doesn't hold value. There's certain character traits, there's certain principles that something must have to be designated as money. And in fact, when it comes to fiat currencies like the US dollar, the Federal Reserve's note, it's a fiat currency. There have been over 600 fiat currencies throughout history, and they all have went to zero. The United States dollar is a fiat currency, and one day it will go to zero. Now, I'm not saying that the United States dollar is going to go away tomorrow, but we can see it hyperinflated away, like in Venezuela, or like in Weimar Germany during their collapse, or any fiat currency collapse throughout history. But this is why we're seeing a reset, and especially under this administration, they talk about stable coins and things of this nature. But we are seeing a reset in the monetary system, and this is an opportunity for us because you know, like we said, nobody's come to save you, but also you don't wait on reparations. Don't wait for somebody the government to come, you know, bail you out. You gotta, you know, get it for yourself and make sure that you have the assets that are going to, you know, benefit you and your family in the long run.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find something. I was about to text you because I can't find. Let me see if this is it though.
Mhm.
Hold on. There's something that I'm looking for. But we're
Yeah.
gonna
Now,
segue
okay.
into the next. I mean, unless do you have anything
No,
else you would like
I
to
could,
share
while
with
you're
them on
looking
this
for it,
topic?
I can continue to, you know, add a little more
Continue,
value.
baby.
Okay. While you're looking
Go
for it.
ahead. Continue. Continue on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so that's why, you know, when I got started in my career, obviously I knew what I knew, and I acquired the asset. But when I realized that not only can I help, you know, my people and people in general acquire the asset, but create passive and residual income in the process, that was next level for me. So I actually get paid to save in God's money. I get paid to save in silver and gold. We get paid to help people get saved in silver and gold. And a lot of times you get free silver and gold as well. So that's why I like, you know, utilizing systems like at cost metals to get paid in silver and gold, you know, to get free silver and gold. In fact, you know, I get a lot of free silver and gold because we help a lot of people get silver and gold. And that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing. Anybody who's been, you know, following me for years and they got silver and gold, they're up right now. You know, they're up right now. And
Yeah, I can believe it.
yeah, and we're just getting started.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
All right. That was listen, I really want you guys to really understand this. You know, we're gonna get together, right? We're gonna put something together next week. You want to tell them a little bit about that, and then we're gonna go to the next subject.
Are
We're
we
gonna
referring to the digital or okay.
yeah, we're talking about the little class or the
Okay,
education.
that part. Well, that
Yeah.
was more so for yeah, but we definitely gonna have another.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You
Yeah,
see,
that
we
was.
talking in code, y'all. We talking in code.
We got a lot of value that we want to bring to the people, and when we talk about the wealth transfer, it's not just a physical aspect. There's also a digital aspect to it as well. Um, Matter of fact, I might be able to play a short video. It's not gonna be long like the other one, but it's a really great one. And it's a mindset piece because a lot of times people don't take advantage of things because they don't understand it. And not all the time do you need to fully understand something before you take a small position or at least get some exposure to that thing. So as you are learning about it, you're also benefiting from it. And it's just like in the .com era, you know, a lot of people, well, I don't know about .com and emails, and there was all these .com companies, and in the early 2000s, you know, the .com crash and things of that nature. But those who, you know, bought certain .com companies, right, the Amazon, the Netflix, the Googles, you know, and those, you know, .com companies that are behemoths and multinational companies today, you'll be set financially. You know, even though you didn't understand how the internet works, you understand that you wanted to take some value and put it into, the digital, you know, stocks and .com and whatever have you. So the same opportunity is here with blockchain and digital assets. Let me see if I can pull this up. I might.
Before you play that,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
So we're gonna start talking about digital things, digital assets and blockchain. And some people may not understand or know what that is. Someone asked about the link for the silver and gold. I put it in the chat. Um, and then I'm also gonna put it on the screen right here. And it's also scrolling. If you can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen, if you want to go ahead, you can sign up for that right now. It is like a membership. You pay, I think, a 1 year or 2 year membership. It's up to you. They automatically send you a coin once a month, and then you can go in and look at all the coins. We should have showed that on the screen. You can
The ad
go
cost.
in, yeah, at cost and let them
Mm,
actually see. You can go in and buy whatever you want, honey.
yeah.
Go shopping. You could buy gold, you could buy silver, you could buy ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, everything. You could buy silver bullets, honey. They got they got rounds out there. They got like a silver bullet in case you run into a vampire and you need to like get locked and loaded. They got silver bullets. Those of you living down there in Louisiana, you know what I'm talking about. You saw the show I did on Louisiana. There's a reason why they don't want y'all to have that blue lotus. I'm just saying. But anyway, go ahead and check it out. I don't know. Can you bring it up right quick before you go on to the other one?
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah, I
let them
can.
see what it looks like. Clink, clink.
Yeah.
Somebody put the clink, clink
So,
in the chat. I'm gonna get me a shirt that said clink, clink. Hey, look. When I grow up, I'm gonna get some of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like you, clinking all over the place.
That's why they call it sound money. It's because of that unique sound. When you hear that, you know you got some real money. Yeah.
That bad boy when you start bad boy, clink, clink, clink. Never mind. He's in the news enough. All right, so let me see. I'm just gonna ahead and put this up there for you guys to see this and see. Let me remove this banner. And you can take a look once you get in there and start acquiring some of these coins.
Yeah.
Right. And go ahead and explain if you can with what you're showing them.
Yeah. So, well, at Cost Metals, you can buy. I believe they have it now where you can buy without the membership, but you're going to pay a little markup if that's the case. It's better to get the membership because you're going to pay essentially at cost. There's some products that will have a markup on it because it could be a specialty coin. When it comes to gold and silver, there's a lot of different things that can, add to their value. It could have a numismatic value. It could be the quantity of it. It could be a proof. It could be a government coin around. But at Cost Metals essentially is the best place online to get it because it's essentially at cost. A lot of the products are at cost. But you can see they got gold. They have silver. There's some platinum. They have some specialty coins as well. And then they have the coins that are just at cost, which means there's no markup on the asset.
So click on that and let them see what that looks like. But, for those of us who are frugal.
Yeah. So
0. You had to click silver or gold. No, you had to click silver or gold.
There we go. I normally go through the whole thing. Right. So you got some buffaloes there.
Yeah, I went and got the buffalo joint.
So they got these 3 at cost and the maple leaves. Wow, that's really good value. If you can get a maple leaf right now for $2-3 over spot, that's awesome. So maple leaves are actually my favorite. Even this is from the Royal Canadian Mint. I love Royal Canadian Mint silver. It's so it's it just has a beautiful finish. It's really high quality. But like the most sought after coin is the Walking Liberties, American Silver Eagles, American Eagles. It's the most desired coin. But then after that's like Canadian maple leaves, and then Chinese pandas are really great too. You're gonna always pay a premium for pandas. Those are really really nice coins as well. But right now, and then specialty coins.
I'm to see them silver bullets.
Exactly. So different things having value. Just have some army coins, and I got this the bull. I had to get that had that bull. Yeah, the Tudor beast.
Shout out to Taurus. Yeah. Taurus is going to look. If y'all don't know anything, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna give you a secret. When you trying to get your finances together, make sure you have either a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo on your team. And I'm gonna leave it right there.
That part. Yeah, they got some unique kind of pieces, and they're always adding stuff too. But I'm telling you right now, they got the Vader coin, Darth Vader. Just a 5 ounce.
A turkey head.
Yeah.
I want that silver, but not that one. I want the big long one.
I know what you're talking about.
They got that one right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Listen, I want to roll it. Back in the 70s.
It's nice too.
Put the one in the chat. If you had a auntie or your mama had them belts made with them bullet belts, y'all know in the 70s, if you grew up in the 70s and your mom and them rocked them bullet belts, them joints, honey. Never, that's the first thing I said. My aunts was out there. They was fly though. And they used to rock these velvet suits with the bullet belt wrap. Lord, have mercy. That means yes, I'm beautiful and fly, but don't.
Right.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out.
But go ahead.
Yeah. And one thing you made me think of something too when it comes to the prices. You got the Panda there for 70. If you go to any other online dealer, they're going to advertise a price. Okay. But by the time you go to checkout, it's going to be a different price. At Cost Metals doesn't play those games. The reason is when you go to any other online dealer, they'll have a price, but then by the time you click on it, they're like, oh, well, it's that price if you buy 100 ounces or more. And then if you like, I only want one or I only want maybe 5 coins, then it's a higher price. And then not only that, they'll figure out, well, are you paying with your card, ACH, this or that? And then it's a higher price based on how you pay. But at cost metals, the price you see is essentially the price you'll pay. The best way to utilize at cost metals too is when you're adding funds to your account. So you want to add funds to your at cost metals account first, and then you buy from the funds added in your account. And the best way to add funds without paying like a credit card fee or something is just ACH it in, which you have the ability to do. You can just ACH money right into the account, and then you can buy silver and gold, and not pay like a $3.99 or credit card processing fee or whatever it is, that goes to the processing.
Can we see some of the gold? Let's see everything.
Yeah. Let's
see
open it up.
The platinum, because they have everything there, guys. But they don't have copper. I don't think they have copper, but
No,
they do have gold, silver, and platinum.
Yeah.
To get started, and you don't have. I mean, that right there, that's a whole ounce. But they have half ounces, quarter ounces, and things of that. Just for you to get started in having that in your savings. This is your retirement, your savings account, things of that nature.
Even on hard times, there have been times where I fall on hard times, I don't have cash and I need to be liquid. Easily I can sell it. And well, now this is what I also teach too as well. When it comes to your physical and digital assets, we're coming to that point where you won't have to sell them anyway. You'll be able to leverage them. And even now, I would leverage or use my silver and gold as collateral. I go to my jeweler and I say, hey, I need $10,000. I give him a few ounces of silver that equal $10,000, and he'll hold on to the silver. He gives me the cash. I go make some money. I give him the cash back. He gives me my silver back. That way, you're never out of the asset. So a lot of times, this is leverageable. Use it as collateral. Same thing with your digital assets. A lot of people are always thinking in dollars. Or when do I sell? Well, you don't have to sell. Even when it comes to the digital assets or the physical, use it as leverage, use it as collateral and borrow from it, and then do what you need to do, but try to maintain it and keep your asset, and you can in a process. But yeah, they got bars, they got rounds.
Yeah, they got small. Look, I just wanted to show, because some people, think they got to spend $5,000.
Oh no.
And it's like, there's $100 right here. All right. You could get a couple of a gram, right? They sell them by the gram. And this will always increase in this value. Okay, so you can start off small and then build your way up. All right. So these are for those, those are my people that's in the budget. I'm a budgeter, honey. I got my Virgo energy is. I'm not a Virgo, but I have a lot of Virgo energy, and I'll be like, okay, hold on, I'll be doing this. Where's it at? Now, if I do this and I add that by this date, I'll have this. If you like me, baby steps, you just go on and start doing things just to accumulate, and you'll be surprised, especially when you put it on automatic. Now, I think with the auto one, the minimum is 1 coin. Like, can you increase that to be as many as you want per month that they send you, or
I believe you can. I haven't checked it because I know they just made some recent updates, but you might be able to add the quantity you want, in addition to whatever particular option they have for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that was a good price. I just saw that buffalo you got. Yes, spot is at $58.
Yeah.
And
I got it. It actually was $2 cheaper when I got it. I told you I'd be setting my alerts, but it was It was like 57. I think I got it.
Yeah, that's under.
So
that's about $1.
I already made $20 per coin. Like, I mean, like a dollar, was it $2 per coin? So,
yeah, and that's a good buy too, because especially if you're not like into collecting silver yet, like you're not getting too crazy about the design or the rarity. If you could just get a good bullion, melt value, and that's a good coin to get. That 1 ounce silver buffalo. If if you just worried about like melt value or just the actual metal itself and not any added value created because of what's on it or numismatic or anything of that nature, and you want to get the best price closest to spot. That's an awesome price, and that's going to be your final price. Like I said, if you go to another online dealer, they might have $59.68, which I doubt it. But by the time you check out, you're not paying that price. I guarantee you.
Right.
Yeah, but that costs you well.
Cool.
Yep.
So, do you guys have any questions before we move on? Do you have any questions for Ricardo in turn when it comes to gold or silver? And or the company that we just looked at. And if you are interested, you want to sign up. The link is scrolling at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. You could just go ahead there and sign up, and you guys get started and
I do.
start filling your way around. And
I do see some
so
people asking about gold backs. It's very possible. I'm in talks with the owner now, telling me got to get some gold backs in there, as well as some other coins that we're pretty excited about. But yeah, gold backs will
I like
definitely
those.
be. Yeah. The gold backs are really nice, especially with the Florida one that's pretty new. And Atcos Metals possibly will have gold back soon. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'll talk to the owner sometime soon and see when that's coming in. But right now, they don't have these, but I can see possibly in the very near future they will. But it probably won't be at cost because there's a way that they create these and it's a premium and whatnot. But we could look at that in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can buy a portion. Please expand. I don't know what that means, but yeah, you can definitely buy portions of it. You don't have to buy the whole bar, the whole coin. You can buy
Like a 1 ounce
grams. You
coin.
can buy
Yeah.
half
Half
ounce.
an
Yeah,
ounce,
1 ounce, half ounce.
quarter of an ounce, a tenth of an ounce. Yeah,
You
they got
know,
some.
y'all know about the ounces and them grams. All right, let me stop. All right, so moving on. Let's move on to the next thing. So we talked about gold and we talked about silver. Now let's talk about blockchain. Let's talk about crypto. Let's talk about what that's about. I see you got the Bitcoins back there. You got the Ethereum plaques back there. So help us understand, those of us who are not familiar, we hear about it. We hear it's a scam, right? We hear, don't waste your money in that, things of that nature. What do you say to them, to the people who's not too sure what it is and what it's about?
Well, one thing and I'm gonna play that video, but one thing I will say about people who say it's a scam, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, back 5 years, 2017 and all that time, Warren Buffett, I mean, you name it. The bankers, the governments, they all said it was a scam. Essentially, they said they wouldn't touch it. It's rat poisoning. You're gonna lose your money. They just said the worst things. Yeah. And now total, 180. JP Morgan, Larry Fink of BlackRock, Vanguard. I mean, and dealing with your retirement funds. So these major institutions and private wealth funds, governments, banks, and agencies all across the world are scrambling now to get exposure to Bitcoin through ETFs. Even Donald Trump has made it to where 401ks can be into digital assets and Bitcoin, and we're seeing that this space prior to Donald Trump has been a very speculative and risky space. Now it's becoming more legitimized on a government level with the passing of major bills, in this administration. And so when you hear Donald Trump say we're going to be the crypto capital of the world and the AI capital of the world, that is a signal to me, and it should be a signal, in my opinion, to everybody else, that that's where you want to start investing in. Because like you said, a lot of people get into this space too late. Most people want to buy when there's a lot of hype, when everybody's talking about it, when they're seeing big green candles, and that's not really the time to buy. That's not the time to get in.
Right.
That's why, you got to know how to read that chart and wait for the pullback. That's right. Yeah. But the time to buy and the time to get in is when everything is down, when everybody's afraid, when everybody's uncertain, when the market is red. That's when you buy the assets. So when the assets rise in value, that's where you make the money. And let me play that video first, and then I'm gonna show you guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure, absolutely.
Hey,
Twin. I'm sorry. Let me give a shout out right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Twin, I just got your email. I'm gonna call you after the show. I don't know if you're still in the chat. She know who I'm talking when I say Twin. She said, "Listen, I just purchased some silver." I'll call you after the show, Twin. Put a 1 in the chat if you in the chat. Go ahead, Ricardo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do see one. Atcos Metals right now is in the U.S. They have some other countries that are coming. But check with Mama T. We might have another solution for those international, for those. But I want to play this video. Maybe you can pull this up on screen.
Okay, yeah, let me pop this up here for you. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is one of the presentation slides that I have with one of these blockchain projects that we're dealing with. But I want to play this video because it kind of to me should help people see the transition and why they should get in, regardless of their understanding of what they're getting into.
Behold, I've discovered fire.
I don't get it.
It's a wheel. Now we can use it to transport things.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's electricity. We can light our homes and power machines.
I don't get it.
This is computer. It will change the way we connect and communicate around the world.
Yeah, I don't get it.
This is a cell phone. Now I can call my loved ones anytime, any place.
Yeah, I don't get it.
This is Bitcoin. It's borderless, incorruptible money that can't be inflated away.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So I like to play that.
I get it.
Yeah, right. That's the whole point. Yeah, even it's just like, so we see the evolution and everything. I mean, look at your TV. I remember the big TV used to have the big back. It was a flat screen, it was a big back, or now we got the flat screen TVs. I remember video games in the 90s, and now video games now. I mean, you just look at the evolution of everything, but the thing that hasn't evolved is our monetary system. It's inefficient, it's expensive, especially when you're talking about cross-border payments. It's slow. It could take weeks, for international payments and things of that nature. And one thing about evolution and the economy and things, it doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you like it or don't like it. It doesn't care if your opinion of it, right? Like when we went from cash to checks, at one point in time, it was only cash and checks. People balanced their checkbook and they had cash. All of a sudden, they brought in credit, and everybody had Visa and Master Plastic. But not everybody liked plastic. Not everybody wanted digital. There was resistance against that. But that was where they were ushering humanity, society. You know what I mean? And so now today, everybody has Visa or MasterCard, in their wallet. Yeah, debit card. Yeah, they have it. And doing their money digitally, in the way that they have it in the old system. And so here we are.
Even your food stamps is digital. I'm just listen. When you ain't got the book that you peel it back no more. Yeah, I know about it. Don't touch me. You got the book that you had to rip it out and pay the people. Now they have this. Everything is digital. So I mean, just to say, what you're just piggybacking what you're saying, because many of us are, we can't do it. I'm afraid of it. I don't know about it. Just like the people who didn't get it. Everything that we used at one time is eventually converted over to something else that we all wind up using in the long run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here it is where you're going to have either you're going to benefit from the blockchain or the blockchain going to benefit from you. Like you're going to use.
Damn. Forgive my outburst. Just keep going. Ignore me.
You seen that skit was Kevin Hart and Don Cheadle. And Cheadle say his age and Kevin Hart gonna say, damn. And then Cheadle say, damn. But that's the reality. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel about the technology or where the world is moving. It's if you either going get up to date or get left behind.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always been, right?
Yeah.
That's how evolution works in all things. Either you have to be progressive. You have to look into the future, because we're comfortable in this paradigm, but it has to change. It has to evolve. And this is probably where things will transfer over into your behalf if you get in alignment, right? You cannot receive things unless you get in the alignment to receive it. And because you don't know about it or you don't like it, doesn't mean it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? This is what I be telling y'all about AI. I use AI all the time. The age filter is AI for Mama T, right? I've been using AI the whole time. And you use AI, you got smart TVs, that's AI. Your phone is a smartphone, that's AI. Everything is some sort of intelligence that you're using. So when it comes to the monetary system, you see everything is getting set up. So you can't keep saying it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam, where you see people pouring, or companies are pouring billions and billions of dollars into something that's a scam. When they saying that, they want to scare you away from it. So like the brother said, if you don't utilize the blockchain, it will utilize you. You don't figure out a way to stack on this thing, you will be stacked too. It will stack on you. And then you will be fall victim to what they're promoting or what they're making, because the blockchain does not belong to one person, no one company. Just like AI, don't no one owns AI. Like, don't ever think, oh, they made it, they make the shit. They never made anything. They stumble on it, like, oh, right, and then they put a brand on it,
Right.
and they sell it to you, right? But this shit's always been here. But don't get me started. But I just really want to lay that foundation down for people to understand, because this is why we get left behind, right? Because of fear, lack of knowledge, and FOMO. And we get in at the wrong time. All right. And like what you said, um, when you hear record breaking, all time high, things of that nature, they hype it so you to jump in it, and then they pull their money out, right? Because they're making money off of you putting it in at the wrong time. And then when the market pulls back and you lose, and the reason why it pulls back is because the whales or the big time investors pulled all their money out after you pulled it in at the wrong time. So then you think it's a scam. And then when it falls low, right? The people with the
They're
money or the
buying it.
knowledge, they're buying it up now, and you're afraid to do it, right? So it's the reverse psychology of it all. So when you hear crash, it's down, this and that, that's when you enter in to these markets, right? When you hear record highs and this and that and the other, that's where you might want to cash in some chips, like you want to pull out some of your profits during that time. So just a little something to drop for you guys.
Yeah, I felt that. We gotta do a sound money clap for that. I felt that. Come on, let's go.
Let me get my 2 little coin. Let me rub a coin together. Goddamn. I can't be out of this thing. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting there. Let me rub a
That's
coins
right. Let's
together.
go. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh Lord have mercy. This is too funny. I'm stacked. I got my poker chip, honey. I'm
We
stacked.
all gonna get there.
Wait, honey. Listen, I'm on the train. I bought my ticket. I'm on the train.
Come on. Yeah. No, that was fire. That was fire. You hit it right on the nail. And yeah, I wonder, you could pull up this other screen I got here.
Oh yes.
And when you see, like Mama T was saying, when you see assets going down, that's when you buy. And right now, Bitcoin is down, and Bitcoin might go to 75. When I'm looking at it on a chart, we might see 75, 73 at the lowest. But it's doing what it's doing right now. But understand something, Bitcoin is going higher now. And another thing to keep in mind is, another thing I also say and teach as well, is that it's not about timing the market, because not everybody knows how to time the market. You can look at support and resistance, but there are a lot of macro and micro dynamics and variables and things of that nature you might not be up to. So not everybody's good at timing the market, but it's not really about timing the market. It's more about time in the market. And so
you
that's
better
why,
say it.
Yeah. It's more about time in the market. You know what I mean? So that's why, I tell people, if you're not too savvy with all that, just buy and hold. Don't worry about the price. Dollar cost average in. That way you get the best out of, your value. And right now, the ETFs, all these, they're buying Bitcoin. Trust and believe me. I know you see the Bitcoin price going down, but they're buying it over the counter, back door. So they're buying it to where it doesn't manipulate the price, but they're accumulating the asset. And then when they're ready to let it run up, it's going to take off, and you're going to try and catch it, and you might not be able to catch it. Okay. Because things are just really accelerating that fast. This is something that has been taking place for decades. But what we're seeing here is things that normally take decades to happen, and they're happening in years. Like time is being accelerated. You know, things are evolving and advancing at a greater rate than most people even realize. You know, during this transfer, it's not just a physical thing. Obviously, it's a metaphysical thing as well. We're going to touch on the physical, but when you look at this is CoinMarketCap, so this is where you will go to check out any information and all information on any digital asset, essentially. But what I want to pull up on this, CoinMarketCap is where you go if you want to know the website of a coin, you want to read the white paper, which is like its business plan. If you want to know what blockchain it's on, if you want to know how many coins there are, if you want to read the chart, if you want to know where to buy it or the markets, all that information you'll be able to get on CoinMarketCap. So you ever hear somebody say, get this coin, always go to CoinMarketCap and you'll get all the data you need, where to buy it and all that. Well, one of the great things they have on here is called the Fear and Greed Index. And it kind of gives you an idea of where sentiment is in the crypto market, right? Are people fearful right now, or are people greedy right now? And obviously there's a chart for that as well. And what we talked about is buying when everybody's like, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. When everybody's fearful, that's when you buy. When everybody's bullish and everybody, oh, we're going to be rich, that might be time to sell. So you can see here, we're at a 22 on the Fear and Greed Index, down here at the bottom. This is extreme fear in the market, okay? Every time we hit down here in extreme fear, we bounce up to, you know, greed and extreme greed. So it's like a bear and a bull market, you know, in that sense.
Up
right
and
now,
down.
Up and down. And so right now we're down here in fear and, you know, borderline extreme fear. And we will see this market return, but this is the time to buy. Like I said, when you see people, when you see the market is down and you're fearful, this is the time to buy. Can we go lower? Yes. Okay. And obviously when it comes to getting into this space, you know, don't put in more than you're willing to lose, because this is investments. Some of these assets, you know, go to zero. There are a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of, you know, just a lot of bad projects, you know, posing as good projects. So just kind of, you know, obviously know what you're getting into. That's why right now, a lot of people are getting into, you know, utility coins, blockchains that are critical to the global financial infrastructure. XRP and things of that nature because of their use case. Right. But yeah, this is, you know, just to add to what you were saying, this is the time to buy, you know, when it comes to blockchain and crypto.
I want to say one thing. Yes, there was a sister who said that she was skeptical. She still needs to do more research. Absolutely, you have to do more research. Now the thing is, when people talk crypto and Bitcoin comes up, I don't own Bitcoin. I don't buy Bitcoin. I have my money in other projects. Bitcoin is known as, like, in astrology, we'll say a lot of focus is on the sun, but there's other planets in the solar system. In the crypto world, Bitcoin is like the sun, but there's other planets, there's other coins in this crypto space. Now, what I do with Bitcoin is I utilize it, or I use it as a gauge to see where the crypto market is going. All right. Instead of having a whole bunch of charts up, I want to share my screen one more time, just to give someone just an idea. I strongly recommend you learn how to read charts, right? Y'all on YouTube, watching all kind of stuff. You could go on YouTube. There's tons of information, YouTube University, to understand the basics of learning how to read a market chart. And also, there's a website that I use called TradingView. You can get a free account there, and you can and they have so many tutorials on there for you to begin to start learning. Now, I want to share this chart here, right? We were talking about Bitcoin. Now, I do mark that. This is a chart that I have. I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't invest in Bitcoin. But what I do is I look at where Bitcoin is, because when it's down, the altcoins like XRP, everybody else besides Bitcoin it plummets. It goes, like, it drops so low. And this is when I make my investments. I don't trade. Trading makes me how can I say, I'll have a nervous breakdown, because I can't be in there every day trading and looking at this shit every day. This is why I look at a monthly chart or a weekly chart, and I'll set my alerts and I'll wait for the market to come to me. This is just my way I do it. I set up the trap. So those who are skeptical and you don't really know, once you learn the basics and you start learning how to read a chart, then you can set it up, baby. You can create a strategy, and then you'll know when to enter or when to exit. Now I'm going to give you an example. The brother said, "Yeah, Bitcoin probably going to go to 75, this and that." I find that quite interesting because I have an alert. You see this yellow dashing line that's
Yeah.
going across? That's my alert. And it my alert is set at 75, 395 for
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitcoin, right? Right. Why do I say, well, how did I know that, Sha? How do I know that? Well, because I look at where the market goes. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. This is what they call the algorithm, right, of the market. And so what I do is I look at the last time it was down and where it was, and then I'll create my like little shaded area. Well, it's going to come back here. And sure enough, it did come back here. Now, when you start to understand and learn the different shapes and things that it does, head and shoulders and things of that nature, it takes a little while to learn it. But you can, for me, I begin to see, I think this is going to make a head and shoulder and then it's going to drop. But there's something that's called Fibonacci, right? A Fibonacci sequence is it measures things in nature, right? It's the measurement of nature all throughout the universe, like the distance from your head to your neck, your shoulders to your arm to your hand. It all equals the measurements of what they call the Fibonacci sequence. This applies in trade as well. So I'll put up what we call a Fibonacci chart, and I have my own little numbers. Shout out to Jessica Lang. I stole my numbers from her, and that girl popping, she be on point. But anyway, this what they call golden ratios or reverse levels. And anytime when you draw out your Fibonacci, let's say from the last low to the high, there are these little levels that the market will always come back to. This shit is like clockwork. It really works. So every time when you draw out your levels, the last high, when it comes back to the golden ratio level, it always bounces from there. Okay, just like here. Let me just draw this out. This was the last low, and I drew my Fibonacci. Let me move this out the way so you can see. This is my Fibonacci chart, right? So I went from the last low and I went to the high. And I was like, okay, the golden ratio level is between zero point 0.5 and 0.618. When these wicks come and hit here, this is normally a buy area. It's going to bounce from here, just like it bounced here. It went up to the high, went back to this level, and it bounced up to the next high. Then it hit that reverse level. You see, I have it color coded 27, negative 27. Every time it hit that, it bounces back. Now, if it stays above this golden ratio area, if it hits here and stays, like it'll trend here for a little bit, then most likely it's going to go to the next high. And this is when you're going to hear Bitcoin reached an all-time high. So it will be $143,000. Now, I'm not buying Bitcoin. I just watch it. So when it hits this low, then I'll go over to my altcoins. And then I said, this is when I'm going to go in and I'm going to start buying, right? This is when I'm going to. So I'll set my alerts, right? My phone goes off. I don't have to sit here and watch this like a zombie. It goes off, and then I'll say, oh, it hit an all-time low, or it hit the golden ratio. Let me go in here and see what XRP is doing. And I have it all set here. As soon as XRP comes into this area here, 130, 150, because it made a double top. Like you get to understand and see it's coming down and hit this. That's when you buy. And by this time, you're gonna hear, oh, it was a scam. I told you it was no good. I told you because all of y'all buying up here. Everybody buying at $3 and shit. And so now it's gonna drop, and that's when you get in. So that's just a little something for those of you saying I'm skeptical of this and that. It's because you don't understand how to read the market, and you may not understand how this thing moves. And once you just get the basics under your belt, then you can do what we call a setup. You can set up your chart. You can set alerts. You can go about your life and your day. This shit may not happen for another month or two, but it's going to happen. And when it does, you make sure you got your little stash ready to go in and buy. So it's a way you invest. It's how you invest. Be smart about it. And like Ricardo is saying, this is a great opportunity to buy because everything is red, right? Everything is down. Everything is hitting down. So you buy a little bit. And even if it goes down more, you buy a little, but you know it's probably going to stop. There's a stopping point before it reverts and goes back up again. All right. That's enough. I think I spoke on this shit again. Oh Lord, I get the clink clink again. Boy, you gonna have me clink clean. My head gonna get clink clean. I'll be dreaming about this shit tonight. Oh man, y'all all right? Y'all feeling all right in
That
there?
was fire. That was awesome.
Chat. Oh, I appreciate it. Put them one in the chat if y'all all right. Y'all feeling this? I'm not putting y'all to sleep. We're trying to get you guys, a little bit more. Open up the portal, right? We're trying to open up the portal so when you step in this thing, you know where you at, you know what you're doing before they, pull the wool over our eyes and they got us on their shit on a new contract on their blockchain. Like we don't have a choice, and we don't, we have a choice. You have to make your choice. You have to create your way. And with this brother right here giving this knowledge and this information, there's opportunities for us that normally is being hid from us, kept from us. So now here we are. We're bringing this to the table. We're bringing this to the light. And for you to go and do more research. I showed you how to look at your chart. Learn about making charts. He showed you about CoinMarketCap.com. Go there and start seeing what's going on. Click on every damn link. Start reading. Because no one's going to save you. No one is going to save us. And until you start getting the knowledge for yourself, this is your prey, right? Your food for the gods. I'm just see that right there.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Yeah. No, that was fire. That was awesome. Man, I'm telling you, so that information, it's knowledge. They say knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge as power. And the thing about this space that we're entering for a lot of people is new. They don't know nothing about investing. They don't know nothing about gold and silver. And so that's why I say don't get caught up in the price movement too much on the day-to-day, because what happens, most people are employees or either like self-employed. But when you go from an employee to self-employed to a business owner or an investor, it requires a mindset shift. You cannot be emotional when you're looking at these assets, because you might put some money in crypto and you see it going down and you start panicking. Oh no, I need to sell, and then you don't sell at a loss, and then the asset goes back up to all-time highs, and you're like, oh no, let me get back in. I missed it.
No. Yeah. Backwards.
Right. That's how they lose their money. Because so there's a such thing as unrealized losses, and losses and unrealized gains and gains. So if you put some money into a digital asset and it goes down in value, you only really lose when you sell. Now, unless the digital asset totally goes to zero, you just into the wrong project. But like, people who got in that Bitcoin, even at 120, just because it's at, 85 or wherever it is right now, it doesn't mean they lost. Now they will lose if they sell, but it's an unrealized loss because in the next month, Bitcoin could be at an all-time high and now they're back in profit. So you kind of, that's why we say when you see the asset going down, as opposed to getting scared and saying, oh no, I need to sell, your mindset should be that, oh, this is the time to actually accumulate more. So when the price of that asset returns, then I have more value. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing more wealth. I'm seeing more gains from that. You know what I mean? But it's just that mindset shift, which is almost just as important, if not more important than actually acquiring an asset, because people come into wealth all the time and then they lose it. People hit the lottery all the, and next thing you know, you hear a few years later, they're broke or on drugs or something of that nature. It's because, there's a time and a season for everything. And when you just get wealthy overnight and you're not prepared for it, you don't have the right mindset, you don't have the right people around you, you don't have the right structure to set up, you'll just end up losing it anyway. So it's important that you develop that right mindset, because we are in a wealth transfer and you are the money, and you are going to be wealthy during this time period. You got to claim that. You got to know it. It's not by accident that you tapping into this information, because a lot of people don't, tap into this information because they're distracted. Okay. And,
Right.
and a lot of people, even if they tapping in, they don't take action. So it's not by accident that you hear that you're getting this information during this time period. It's not too late. It really isn't too late. 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year for physical and digital assets. We're closing out 2025. Depending on where you are, you might need to make some sacrifices, but know that you're making a better decision for your future in the long term. Don't look at this like a get rich quick scheme. Okay. Look at this like a process of building wealth and creating generational wealth. In crypto, can you get rich quick? Yes. You can make a lot of money really quickly in crypto, but there's also a lot of risk, involved in that,
Yes, a lot of risk.
A lot of
You
risk.
have to know what you're.
You gotta know what you're doing. Right.
I know what you're doing. Or
And if
else
you don't want
this
the
is
risk, get the gold and silver.
facts. You have a choice. Isn't it wonderful?
I love
You have a choice,
Mhm.
right? So that, like what he was saying, your savings account, your retirement money,
Yeah.
things of that nature, put it in low risk, zero risk assets, gold and silver, right? But if you have a little extra, you want to invest in, you've done your research, you want to, crypto, you can, it's more probable or possible for you to at least the minimum 5x your
On this
money
bull
in
run?
crypto.
Mhm.
Yeah, you 5x, like that's multiply your money by 5, right? But it can't be your last dollar, right? It can't be the rent money, the cell phone money, the car note money. Don't do that. Save up, put money aside for you to invest in, money you won't miss. Okay, that's how you play this game.
Yeah.
You can't don't go borrow, taking out loans and shit unless you know what you're doing. No. Don't go taking out $10,000 because you got a buzzword on this and you go ahead and put it in. Now you lost that. Now you got a $10,000 debt. You don't want to do that. Put money aside. Put a little bit of money. Oh, I'm gonna get on y'all now. Now y'all go to church. That 10% you put in that plate. I'm gonna keep it real. You ain't never gonna see that shit again, right? You not.
That part.
You not. You thinking that you not. Take that 10%, put it in a little something, hold it, and at the end of the month, buy you some crypto after you've done your research, right? Get into a program that you're gonna make some money, right? Instead of because this is you told that this man is telling you that, oh yeah, you give it to the church and this and that and the other. Listen, who's the first person you're supposed to pay? Come on, tell them, man. Who's the first person you're supposed to pay?
Yourself.
Hello.
Yourself.
Pay yourself first.
That's
Nobody
right.
coming to save you. You got to get this in your mind.
Yeah.
Pay yourself. Take that 10% you put in that man plate for
Put
him
in
to ride
God's money.
around and what he riding around in, and with his fur coat on and his wives, plural, his jets and this and that. Talk about the Lord gave him. The Lord ain't give him that. Y'all gave him that. Y'all gave him that.
Come on.
Give it to you. What you giving him, give it to you. Put it in a little something every 30 days. Go ahead and buy this. And every 30 days, do buy that. And M.I.M.S going to show you something right now. Right? If you go ahead and start thinking in that way, something that is something that you can do right now that can start bringing you in residual income.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So obviously, when we talk about crypto and digital assets, we got the risks and the disclaimers out the way. But understand something that I tell people all the time: if you haven't lost money in crypto, you ain't in crypto. Like, and let me say this too. So it's true. You more than likely you're gonna lose money. But that's investing in general. If you get into the stock market, you get into anything, you start your own business, restaurants fail all the time. Like, that's just risk. There's risk in everything, you know what I mean? And your ability to manage risk is what's going to determine your success. But you got to go through the fire. You got to go through the ups and downs. You got to get the experience. You know what I mean? So that's just part of the process. So that's why we say don't ever put in more than you're willing to lose. And then the other thing I want to add is that everything is getting tokenized right now. And what that means is that everything is going on the blockchain. Every single market, every real estate, precious metals, I mean, everything. Think whatever you're thinking of, it is going on the blockchain. All data, all information, money, everything is going on the blockchain. Okay, so you can't escape it, but you can capitalize on it because the digital assets that are needed to facilitate that transfer, we have access to in a way that we didn't have access to stocks because we weren't accredited investors. There's different things at that time. Doesn't matter what color you are, how your age you are, religion you are, where you are. You can buy these digital assets that are critical to the global financial system's success. When we're talking about a lot of these, digital assets, ISO projects, ISO 20022 coins and things of that nature when you're dealing with the monetary system and movement of money. And so there's an opportunity here, to capitalize on this space. There is risk, but that's just the nature of, investing. What I do want to do for everybody, I do want to go over some of my favorite coins really quickly. it's not an update yet, but I'll
Yeah, a
go over
lot of
some of them
people,
for the people.
yeah, they
Probably
want
want
to
to
know
know.
about that because,
Yeah.
that's a great thing for you to do. And someone asked, while when you're pulling up some stuff, let me close this window here. They asked about where to where do they get XRP? Now, for me, I got a little system that I do. I'm not on Coinbase. I think you can get it on Coinbase, not sure. But what I do, I have an Uphold wallet. That's what they call a hot wallet. It's online, but I just buy certain things off of there, and then once I buy it, I transfer it to my cold wallet, which is a Ledger or EliPal. So go ahead and look those things up. Now, I do have a link if you want to go ahead and get on Uphold. Uphold has tons of stuff on there. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Uphold, but you could go ahead. This is a long ass link, but I'll put it in the chat. Someone want to pin it. I don't know if I got any moderators, but you can pin that in the chat. You could get you an Uphold wallet. Now, always get you a Ledger wallet. I do, and we're going to be teaching a lot more of this also. But right now, I think this is a good time for me to say this, and then I want you to go over part two with the
Yeah, go ahead. I'm making some updates
with
anyway.
the so Mims and I are going to put together a Zoom call next week, and we're going to go more in depth with this for those who are really interested and want to learn more about this. And if this is something that you're interested in, put a one in the chat, and I'm going to put up my email address. Now, you can either go to my website at sacredtea.net and sign up to the VIP emailing list. And then I'm going to send out a blast email on when we have the Zoom call. And shout out to all the ones in the chat. Or you can email me right now at info@sacredtea.net. Let me put this in the chat here for you. info@sacredtea.net. And email me there. In the subject line, put God's money. In the subject line, put God's money. And I'm going to send out everything, all the information when we have the Zoom call. All right. You're going to make sure you check your spam folder because the subject matter will be Zoom call God's money. And so you guys could get on there and get more information. If you want to get signed up for certain things, Mim's going to have it all laid out for you. Yeah, Ledger is dope. I do have a Ledger. Actually, let me make it a banner and put my email on here. So we're going to put this together this week. And this is going to be so valuable, very informative. You can see that the brother has a lot of knowledge. And he got a good soul. I like this dude. He got a good Taurus. I can't say it. I know. Taurus is, I'm telling y'all, when it comes to this thing, honey, stay away from them Pisces. Little Pisces, that fish. Can you try to catch a fish? It's gonna swindle you out there.
Okay.
No disrespect to the Pisces and the wrong sensitive asses. Y'all know y'all sensitive. All right, just email me info@sacredtea.net if you are interested in being a part of the Zoom call. Mims is going to have a presentation all available there for you to get more information on what we're talking about. And then just to give them a taste and a teaser, if you want to go in and let them know about this next coin. Now we all know about XRP, right? XRP, I love XRP. I've been holding on to XRP since 2020. And made a little bit with that. That's my retirement money, land money, and all of that kind of stuff. Like he said, leverage. We're gonna talk about leveraging later. He's my financial advisor. He don't know it, but I just appointed him that like now. Because no, we need to make some moves. Like we need to get in position and know what the hell we're doing out here because we want to acquire things and we just don't know how. So it's good to be or surround yourself around with people that do know. So once again, y'all go ahead and shoot me an email, subject line God's money. All right, if you want to be a part of the Zoom call. And then I'm going to shoot everybody back with the link to sign up. And the title of that will be God's Money Zoom call. And so if it's in your spam folder, things like that nature, you can know. And it's going to come from me, Shabless, at probably Gmail or something like that. So, all right. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to let the brother go on and tell us about these other coins and also about this thing called, did you get the video ready? You wanted to show us the video or something? Or did you show it already?
I show one. I can. I show one. But I'll go into crypto and then I can show something on the.
All right.
Yeah.
But I want you to also. I don't know if this is what you're going to talk about next, but I want to know more about mining. All right, about what that means to be a miner or getting into mining crypto. Because now we can buy crypto, we can invest in crypto, we can do all of these trade crypto. But now I want to know about mining crypto.
Yeah. I definitely will get into that. And just for the algorithm, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't hold any licenses. Okay, just educated
And I put you out
learning.
there.
No, you're good. No, let's.
He's my God's money advisor. How about
that? Right. Yeah, no. So maybe you pull that screen up. I guess I can show. I just want to show a little bit on some of these coins, and then somebody did say where can you buy XRP. So like I said, CoinMarketCap, you can always get all the information and data on the coin. So I'll just click on XRP, which is the first one on this list, and it's not fully updated, but it does have some of the coins that I hold a significant bag in, a portion holdings in. But anytime you want to find a coin, you could, search the coin and you see a chart on it, and you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see the website, you can read the white paper, you'll get the social media links for it. And any coin that you have, always follow the X account, at least, if you're not following all their social media accounts to stay up to date on the project developments and partnerships. It's going to do a lot of good. Contract addresses, wallets where you can store that digital asset, all that you can find on CoinMarketCap. And then when you want to figure out where can I buy it, a lot of times it'll be on CoinMarketCap. Sometimes you can buy an asset and it's not listed on CoinMarketCap. You just got to know how to get it. But you can see Coinbase. You click on markets and you'll see obviously XRP is on Binance and Coinbase and Upbit and OKX. You see all these different exchanges, MEXC, and you see it goes on for quite a few different exchanges, up to 73 pages. So that's where what exchange you can get the digital asset at. But some of the coins that I'm holding and watching very closely, and I add to my position. Here you see XRP, obviously, Stellar, XLM, HBAR. A lot of these are ISO compliant coins that are dealing with the global financial infrastructure, quite frankly, the movement of money, tokenization of real world assets, carbon credits and things of this nature. World Liberty Financials is Trump's thing. And I know some people just don't like Trump, but you don't want to use your emotions when it comes to making money, in my opinion. Kronos is going to be huge. Crypto.com, they got partnerships with Trump, and Crypto.com is like going to be one of the biggest, crypto banks, if you ask me, along with like Coinbase. They're huge, the partnerships and just so much you can do inside their app that most people just don't even realize. And we'll probably see, in my opinion, Chronos hit $1 in the next bull run, well, in the bull run to come, as it sees all-time highs. BitTensor, Tau, obviously a big AI play. Like if you want to capitalize on AI and the AI narrative, you definitely want to have some Tau. You see Ondo, XDC, Theta, ZBEC, big with payments. Okay, when it comes to like salaries and people getting paid in crypto, ZBEC is kind of that network that's supposed to be facilitating that. Velo, XPR network, Stronghold, I really love. That's dealing with like ACH payments in the U.S. banking system. Stronghold massively undervalued in my opinion, based on just who they are, you know, the partnerships, what they do. Strongholds definitely want to get. Constellation DAG, Corium, that's pretty big on the XRP ledger. It's supposed to be a RWA play as well, and a bridge on the XRP ledger. I'm very bullish on Supra. It's one of the best blockchains out there. I look at it like Solana, Sui, and Chainlink. You know, if they had a baby or something, it would be Supra. It's down big time, so that's when I buy. You know, it's at its almost at its lowest point. Essentially, Loan Protocol, which is huge on the Metal blockchain. Texacoin, which we'll talk a little bit about that. Metal blockchain, Dovu, I'm very bullish on that. RWA play, which is real world assets. They have their own operating system, carbon credits play. It's pretty big. So Dovu and some other ones there at the bottom. You can see Scopely. I wouldn't. Some other little plays, but those are some of the coins. This is some of the coins that I get. And obviously, do your own research, your own due diligence. And like I showed you before, you can obviously read the white paper, which is like the business plan, so to speak. On a project, and then they also have the website, and then always check the X account, and then you can get an idea of what's going on there. So hopefully that helps. And I don't know if there might be any questions before I go into the benefits of mining cryptocurrency, because we talk about crypto all the time, and mining gets me really excited. So I just
got
jump
me
right
excited
in
too.
Right. So, and obviously, of course, let me mention Bitcoin and ETH. You know, I'm not like a maxi in any of these assets. I don't join the cult per se. I don't, you know, oh, you only got to have this coin or only have that coin. Like, why can't I buy both? You know, some people are like, well, don't get crypto, just get gold and silver, or only get gold and silver. Don't get, like, why can't I get both? Why can't I have exposure to both assets? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I look at it. But so you can buy cryptocurrency. Go ahead.
No, never mind. That was the things that happen. This.
Okay. I'm with you. Yeah. So I get excited. You know, obviously, this space has changed my life. Like literally, I'm mentally unemployable. Okay, I wake up when I'm done sleeping. Okay, okay. Let me get the bricks.
He said he is unemployable.
Yeah,
that's another T-shirt. I'm going to
mentally unemployable. Fire.
Listen,
let me get a little royalties on that.
Boy, you got it.
No,
I
got you. Yeah. I mean, so this space will do it for you. This space, you know, assets and finance systems of leverage where you can share value with other people and create a residual passive income. That's what, you know, my career is really pretty much consisted of. But you can buy cryptocurrency or you can mine cryptocurrency, right? So when I found out about mining, and there's different ways that you can get paid in cryptocurrency every single day for the rest of your life. And that could be either, you know, owning a server, owning a node, something we call software on the blockchain is processing the transactions and everything on the network, or owning a miner, right? So like obviously with Bitcoin, there's Bitcoin miners, right? And these miners are all over the world. And, you know, these machines in these warehouses or wherever they have them, they're doing some work, processing computations of mathematical equations and things of that nature, right? They're doing work. And because whoever owns those machines, when that work is done, they're rewarded Bitcoin, or what we call Satoshis, right? Which is Satoshis is a fraction of a Bitcoin. So this rewarded Bitcoin. So when you have a miner, right, that miner is doing work, you're rewarded the digital asset every single day for the life of that machine doing work, right? So there are projects in the blockchain and crypto space where you actually can become a miner. Now, not of Bitcoin is what I'm referring to, because now it's too expensive. The average person is not going to be able to mine Bitcoin right now. Okay. But there are projects where you can, participate in that mining infrastructure that they're building. And it's sort of like a crowdfunding process where you're helping build that mining infrastructure and that community behind that blockchain and the increased growth and utility of that blockchain. And as a miner of that project, you actually get rewarded every single day in cryptocurrency, right? And the beautiful thing about that is that while you're learning about cryptocurrency, you actually can earn cryptocurrency every single day for the rest of your life. In fact, the project that we're a part of, we're going to be receiving cryptocurrency every single day for the rest of our life for the next 100+ years, because that's how how long the miners are essentially going to run and process and produce coins for those who have a miner or have bought into the mining infrastructure, right? And so every single day for the rest of your life you get paid in crypto, and the crypto that we're getting paid in is very liquid. The project is very transparent, and you can sell those coins every single day if you want to. You can accumulate them, and as you accumulate more, you can sell them at any point in time you want to, or you can trade those coins out for any other cryptocurrency you want. So if you wanted to get XRP every day or once a month, you can take the coins you got from this miner, which is in another coin, but sell it into USDT, and then go buy whatever other cryptocurrency it is that you want. But the key part about that is the next day you're still going to receive that coin. It doesn't stop, right? Because you own, you bought into that mining infrastructure. Okay. So that's what I get excited. So anytime I can find a project where I can either, own a node, and I'll give you an example. I actually have a Gala Games node. That node, which is, like I said, that one's just software, but I paid $7,000 for that node during the last bull run. And that node, that software, was worth more than like $100,000 at the height of the bull run with Gala Games. And every single day, and still until this day, it pays me in Gala coins. I get Gala coins because I have that node. And, I've accumulated, 100,000 coins. And when Gala goes to 80 cents, and $1, as the market returns. Now, obviously right now, everything is down. Altcoins are down, gaming, NFTs, the narrative is down, the coins are down. But the point is, when you own a piece of the blockchain, when you own a piece of the infrastructure as a node or validator or server or a miner or something like that, regardless of what the market is doing, every single day you get paid in a digital asset. And so, like I said before, I'm big on multiple streams of income. I'm big on diversifying and finding ways to make money in my sleep, so I don't have to work until I die. You have to find ways to put that money to work for you, so you don't have to work for the money, right? And the blockchain space is affording us that ability. So that's why I love mining, and we're in a mining project. And so, like Mama T put up the info at sacredtea.net for those who want to take a look at the mining project that we're in and get more details and even start mining yourself. That's what we're also going to be going over on Saturday, as well as just some blockchain and crypto information, education. I'm here for you guys. You can let me know, and I'll definitely make sure I get those questions answered.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a phenomenal thing. I'm excited about it, this project. M.I.M.S introduced me to this, and I want you guys to just come on a Zoom call and check it out, get more information, and start doing research on mining and crypto and all the things that we talked about. And so M.I.M.S, let them know where they can find you. You got a website, your social media. Let them know where they can connect with you.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, obviously. Ricardo Hamilton on YouTube, and actually here, I'll go ahead and edit my name, my display name. So actually, instead of reading M.I.M.S, it'll at least have my name on there. So Ricardo Hamilton on YouTube. I'm also they just took me off Facebook, and I'm telling you, it's because of the value that I share. I really think that's why they've taken me down. I have to create a new page, or maybe I'm appealing it to get my old page back. So we'll see. But follow me on YouTube. And I'm on Instagram, Crypto Rick Official. Crypto Rick Official. Yeah, that's one of my other names. Crypto Rick Official. on Instagram. You can also email me as well. I do have a free ebook that I put out for people to take advantage of. And I also have a crypto university and a platform called School, where I also have some blockchain and crypto education and keep people updated on what's going on in the markets and whatnot. But of course, if you want more information as well, you can also email me at rhamilton19@gmail.com, rhamilton19@gmail.com.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Also, I'm going to get all of his information and I'm going to be posting it in the description of this video. This video will be replayed. So those of you who missed anything, it will be tagged in the description. I'm also going to have his information in there. I'm also going to have the information on where to sign up or for the Zoom call. And we'll get all the information out to you. So, and if you have any questions, make sure you follow the brother on all his social media platforms. You got his name up there. And yeah, this was great. This was phenomenal. I think we got a lot of things covered. We shared a lot of information. How you guys feeling? You have any questions before we head out? Let us know. Let us know in the chat if you have any final questions for Ricardo. M.I.M.S, I like calling M.I.M.S. There was a song out in, I think it was the 90s by a guy named M.I.M.S. And M.I.M.S stand for Music is My Savior. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, I haven't. Okay.
Yeah. He had one song. He was a one-hit wonder. And at the gym, I think it was Music Makes Me Something. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why. This is
Oh,
why.
the M.I.M.S
This
a
is why
rapper.
I'm
Yeah,
hot.
yeah. That's what a
Yeah.
lot of people ask me. Are you M.I.M.S a rapper? I'm like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
M.I.M.S a rapper. But
Music is my
M.I.M.S grew
savior.
because what I do is, a lot of people say, man, when you talk, it just makes sense. You make it make sense. So I ran with that and I just said M.I.M.S, make it make sense. So that's the name of the university I have on the platform, School, which is SKOOL. But it's Make It Make Sense University, and people call me M.I.M.S. So
that's dope. I love it. I love it. Come on, y'all. Y'all ain't got no final questions for you. Got this brother here. He's a wealth of information. And but it's okay. If you don't have anything for him, make sure you contact him. Make sure you sign up once again for the course. I mean, not the course, for the Zoom call. Look at me. I'm jumping ahead, honey. I got course on my mind, all kind of stuff. Go down. But go ahead and sign up for God's Money Zoom call. info@sacredtea.net. That will be linked in the description as well after this podcast is over. Also, if you want to go ahead right now, you want to start getting you some silver and some gold, you want to join that, you could just go ahead and click on this link here. Clink, 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 clink.
Yeah.
At I Cost Metals.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a link there. This man, I tell you, I just got in the game.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get
A
you
little
there.
this into the big ass bars. You clicking. You gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta start somewhere. Listen,
right.
you tell me about this. Like I said, I stuck my pinky toe in there. And I just want to show you guys. I got this in a matter of days. These are silver coins, 1 ounce each. Sterling silver. Let me see. I can make this look
Yes, pure silver. Yeah.
pure silver. I mean, they're amazing. I got the Buffalo joints, Buffalo soldiers in the building.
Great
You
price.
can see that.
Yeah.
Wonderful price.
Yeah.
At cost.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
I went and joined for the 1-year membership. I'm going to get a coin a month, and there's the our people in the back who that we've been destiny swapped. They try to swap our destiny. Y'all know I'm controversial. Well, anyway, we getting it back.
Right.
Taking it all back. So y'all go ahead and check those out. I went and grabbed me some I'm telling you, like 3 days ago. And it was in the mail. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was
"What's in this
surprised.
box?" Yeah, it came fast.
Yeah, because a lot of people are ordering right now. Even me, while silver's going up, I'm still buying. I like the dollar cost averaging. I get silver in every single month. I set it on automatic and I forget it. And it just comes in. But it's important to get it now because it's going to come a time where either it's just totally unaffordable or they're not selling. Like you won't be able to get it. Like literally there's a deficit and the industrial demand is increasing. And now with people becoming aware of silver and wanting to get physical silver, it's going to put more strain on the available supply. So we're just going to see a lot of things take place here in the coming weeks, months, and going into next year and so on in assets in the market in general because of the reset that we're in the monetary system. So that's why I say you just want to make sure you get it and you hold it. There's a saying in precious metals. They say if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you hold the physical asset so you can claim ownership of it. And the same thing in crypto space. Okay, they say not your keys, not your crypto. And so what that means is that if you have your cryptocurrency in a wallet and you don't own the private keys, mnemonic phrase, or passphrase as a secret phrase to your wallet, then you don't own that cryptocurrency. So a lot of people think they're in crypto because they're on Coinbase or Robinhood or crypto.com and they got it sitting on that exchange. They think they're crypto. You're not in crypto. You need to take custody of your digital assets because when you look at cryptocurrency, that's what it is. I know that you hear crypto and you're thinking scam and all this and that. Start to change the way you look at cryptocurrency. These are digital assets, okay? And you want to take ownership of those digital assets, which means you want to take them off of these centralized exchanges, which is central control like Coinbase and Robinhood and things of that nature. Get them off of those centralized exchanges, okay? And what you want to do is you want to move those digital assets to your own non-custodial, self-custody, decentralized wallets. So you just want to move it to another wallet, whether that's what we call a hot wallet, which you can just download that wallet right off the App Store and you'll get ownership of your assets, or you want to move those assets to what we call a cold storage wallet to where it's totally offline. That's the most secure way to store your digital assets. But you want to get your digital assets off of centralized exchanges. You want to eliminate the risk and liability of somebody else holding onto your assets. You want to take ownership and custody of those assets.
Absolutely. I strongly recommend you guys get cold wallets.
Yeah.
All right. You can use your hot wallet just to grab them, quick buys or whatever. Don't leave them on there. Be a part of that with Sam Altman type situation. All your money gone. Because when it's like, put it this way, this whole thing with crypto is an opportunity for you to become your own bank. Right? Now you have your own assets. Like we have our money in the bank right now. And anything can happen. Like when they say a bank run, people going to the bank to pull their money out, get the ATM or whatever, they don't have enough cash on hand to give you your money. That's crazy, right? Think about that.
Yeah.
So you need to diversify your funds, right? You need to have hard assets, gold, silver, and then also have crypto on a hard wallet. And the thing about what I like about crypto and learning about stable coins is that you could convert that to other coins. I spent some time out of the country in Mexico, and the dollar ain't they look at your dollar, they don't even want the dollar.
Nope.
You need the peso, right? You need their money, right? And so then you got to convert your money. Now they have crypto too. They got Bitcoin ATMs and shit. Like they have these digital ATMs all over the place. So what I'm saying is this: the dollar, you can take your dollar, turn it into some crypto, and then if you go to different parts of the world that's crypto friendly, you can convert that over to their money, right? You can do that with the dollar too. But what I'm saying is, I had a $20 bill, and I'm going to the store. They were like, "What am I supposed to do with that?" Like they had no use for that. Like you have to convert it into their money. So all that I'm saying is you want to diversify your funds and your money to different types of assets so you won't be asked out when these people start playing games with the banks and the dollar. So that's all I want to say about that.
No, that's a great point. When I was in Barcelona in Spain, we wanted to leave $100 tip. They didn't want the $100.
They don't want that shit.
They didn't want the $100 bill. I'm like, what? I don't want what? Just a $100 bill. That she didn't want it. She's like, what do we do with that?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like 'cause there was the same thing. Was a waitress. Actually, she was a manager, and she said I had some guys come in and they left me a $20 tip. And I was like, okay. She was like, what am I gonna do with this? She
Mm.
said, do you want it? Like she knew I was from America. She like, and I was like, okay, I get. We did an
Right.
exchange, like so. I gave her, the equivalent in pesos, and I said,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll take that $20 because
Hmm.
I'm gonna need it when I cross back over. But yeah, they have absolutely no use for the U.S. dollar. You
Yeah.
need to have something that converts into their currency and holds value. And a lot of countries are becoming crypto friendly
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
let you know that we're moving into the space. So not only should you be stacking up on your gold and in your silver, and instead of like we said, putting that 10% in that man's plate, put that 10% in your own little investment fund, like for
Hmm.
yourself. Money you
Yeah.
won't miss, right? And money that you've done your research, and this is going to bring you back
Yeah.
some sort of gains with this within a year, 6 months to a year, like, or maybe in a month. You never know how fast this thing goes, but it's just positioning yourself to be in alignment for this transfer of wealth because no one's giving this shit to us. No one is gonna say, here, this for you. Everybody waiting for the R word. Y'all know what I mean?
Hmm.
Y'all know what I'm talking about when he was Obama ain't coming. Y'all know went from Obama to Trump. Look, you'd be surprised how many people think Trump gonna save them. It's not gonna happen. No one's gonna give you the R word. You're gonna have to make your own reparations. You're gonna have to create a way for you to get this wealth back yourself. And it's being smart, right? And
Yeah.
being strategic and getting in alignment. All right.
And I will say, we are in a live banking crisis right now. Obviously, I talked about that with gold, but even if you look at what happened in Europe with Cyprus, they made it to where people couldn't pull their money out the ATM. You could only put out like $60 a day, 60 euros a day or what it was. They had capital controls, and so that's when it was a big thing during the last crisis. And then when you see the Federal Reserve doing what they're doing now, manipulating interest rates and getting into the market, that's how you know that the economy is not healthy. It's not well, because in a free market, interest rates should be determined by supply and demand, not manipulation by the Federal Reserve. So when you see and that's why we're really bullish on crypto and things of that nature, because when the Federal Reserve steps in, essentially they're just going to print more money or manipulate rates. That's what they have the ability to do: manipulate the interest rate and create more money, right? But we know that when they create more money, this money gets siphoned, and what's going to happen is that it's going to go to assets. And so that's why we know that these digital and physical assets are going to rise in value. So that's why in the crypto space, we're always waiting for the Fed rate cut. Go ahead, Fed, if you want to get in here and manipulate this market because it's not healthy, and without you guys stepping in, it would naturally crash like it should have in 2008 and did a natural correction, and we came out of it. Instead, they blew the bubble up. They made it worse. We are literally in uncharted territory. The world has never been in this position before. This is why this time is so significant. People just don't understand how bad it really is. And right now, the banks are sitting on massive, massive unrealized losses. The money's not there. And when the Federal Reserve steps in and print, the international community loses confidence in the dollar and in the financial stability of the economy and the currency. And that's why you see them going to gold, and that's why you see them getting into blockchain. And this is why you're going to see stable coins that are backed by gold and backed by assets. Okay, because the stable coin is going to be the new international currency. The blockchain. So that's where we're going. That's what we're seeing. So that's why you just want to be hedged and in position in this space, because that's what's going to allow you to really create that generational wealth. But if you're thinking that you're just going to be able to work your way out of this, getting 2 jobs or saving dollars or doing what your parents or grandparents did, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. You have to do something different to expect different results. And I tell people all the time, you don't know what you don't know, and you won't know unless somebody tells you. So
One more again. Say that for the people in the
yeah.
back.
You don't know what you don't know, and you won't know unless somebody tells you. You know, so make sure
Well,
Mama T telling you, okay? Mama T trying to tell you, okay, take action. Take action.
right
Definitely.
now, right
Right.
now.
Facts.
Listen, take action. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Listen, we're about to close this thing on out. I really appreciate you for being here, brother. You dropped so much information for the people, and I like the way you present it. Make it simple and plain, because some people talk in a language that we don't understand to make themselves seem like they're so intelligent and bright and brilliant, and everyone's sitting there like, "What is he talking about?" But you bring it in such a practical way that we can instantly begin to apply it and start learning it. Thank you for sharing the links. Thank you for sharing the coins that you invest in, the videos that you showed, and the knowledge that you bring. Make sure you all follow my man, my brother right here on all his social media platforms. Let me move this out the way so his name is up there so you can see it. And also, I will be dropping all the links in the description after the podcast is over. So those of you want to go back and replay it, you'll have that information. And once again, if you want to sign up to this exclusive Zoom call to learn about mining, to learn about more about gold and silver, make sure you sign up at info@sacredtea.net and make sure on the subject line you put God's money. God's money. So I can make sure, because I'm gonna have to go through all of these emails, and I'm gonna send you all the link to the Zoom call that we're gonna be having next week. Okay. And if you don't get it, make sure you check your spam folder and make sure you just contact me and say, Mama T, I ain't get that link. I want to be on that Zoom call, know about this mining thing. So we're gonna hook you up. Okay. He's gonna have a whole presentation for you, show you how it's done, and more. All right. So once again, thank y'all so much for joining me. Any last words for the people, my brother?
Yeah, I do see one question. Somebody's asking, can they get a response on NFTs?
Oh,
Yeah, I did see that. And then of course, Mama T already put her at cost metals link up there. Referral code would be Mama T. I think it is correct. But yes, NFTs do have value, of course. NFTs do have value. Not all NFTs have value, but NFTs do have value. And just like with gaming and in the metaverse, and there's different sectors in the blockchain categories that you can get into. When the narrative is down and it's not talked about, that's the time to probably buy. That's the time to get in. Now, if you're into NFTs, which is not a bad sector in the blockchain to get into, the time to buy would be now, in that sense of where it's not talked about, there's no hype, it's undervalued, there's no movement on it. If you're going to get into NFTs, this would be the time. Because like I said, most people want to get into assets and certain things when everybody's talking about it and there's a lot of hype and you're hearing a lot of stuff and buzz about it. You want to be in before everybody's talking about it. You want to be in before that time. That's where you're really going to see the value. So that's the whole idea. And then obviously, whatever you get into, whatever sector, whatever market, whatever space in blockchain and crypto or whatever asset, just make sure you stay as informed as possible on that asset. Whether you're following the social media platforms or the YouTube creators or whatever it is that you're following in these digital space, just stay abreast to what's going on. So that way you're making an informed decision and investment, as opposed to just listening to somebody who says, buy this because they said it's the next coin that's going to go do a 10X or 100X. You know what I mean? You want to get educated, because the fact of the matter is that you are the bank now. You are the private wealth fund. You're the private wealth fund for your family now. You are the one that's going to make sure that your children's children are going to remember your name. Your face, your name is going to be over the fireplace, over the mantle. And you need to know how to manage this money, how to move this money, how to handle this money, how to grow this money, how to leverage this money. This is your job now, and you don't have to work. If you do this right, you don't have to trade your time in for labor. You will have your money working for you, so you don't have to work for money.
I say.
Yeah.
I say. Click, click.
Yeah.
Come on, give me another. That's a click, click moment. Yes, indeed. I love it. Indeed. Come on, y'all. That's the real jingle bells.
That's right.
The
I like
real
that. That's
jingle
the real
bells
jingle.
right there.
Right.
You're gonna be jingling some bells. That's the bells you need to be jingling, baby.
That's right.
I say. Oh man, thank you so much. It's been a fabulous show. I appreciate you for being here. The knowledge, the wisdom, the this brother here. I'm telling y'all, this good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, y'all. So we are going to wrap this thing on up. Thank you, everybody in the chat who's here. Make sure you sign up for the Zoom call. Once again, I'm gonna place it on the banner right here. God's Money, info@sacredtea.net. If you want to learn about mining and more about God's Money, this is an exclusive call with the host, M.I.M.S. He will be showing us step by step on how we get down with this thing, how we do it, sharing more exclusive information that we didn't get a chance to talk about here on the live. Make sure you do follow him. And yeah, with that being said, it's been an honor. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe out here. Don't let these streets get you. And take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. You know, there's a lot going on out here these days, and we need each other. We need each other to be more alert, more knowledgeable, and, you know, reach one, teach one. This is how we get down here. Everything, even though we definitely are spiritual beings, we cannot forget we live in a material world. So it's not about making money your God, but just knowing that this belongs to God and it's God's money. And God is in you. So if God is in you, it's your money too. With that being said, peace, love y'all, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Peace and positive vibrations. Welcome to the portal as you enter into the world of the sacred. It starts with a pour, slow, intentional, steam curling like whispers from the ancestors. We don't just sip tea, we build legacies. We're in alignment. This is a vibration you can feel, touch, taste, and smell. The ancients knew. They sip to awaken, to dream in technicolor, to open the third eye, to use the realms unseen, to tap in. Blue lotus, born from the Nile, kissed by the moonlight, woven into the mystic hands of time, infused with mango green, peach oolong, apple, hibiscus, ginger, a blend of the body, soul, and spirit. And now it's yours. Hand blended, small batch, crafted with intention. 'Cause when it's gone, baby, it's gone. Because real magic ain't mass produced. One drop at a time. How we flow. Sacred tea, baby. So don't wait. Tap in, sip deep, and let this moment be a ritual, a return, a renewal. SacredTea.net. Let's get it. Claim your cup. Sacred Tea. Before the last drop is poured. Sacred Tea. Sacred Tea. If you would like to be a guest on the Stella Maris podcast, please contact me at info@sacredtea.net.